kind of what I'm going to start considering like our house drink or something. I don't even know. Like, it's
yeah, I was thinking about we should start muddling stuff.
Oh yes, we should.
Seth told me that.
But maybe after we play
D&D. Yeah.
Are we still in jail? We're still in jail. We're
never
getting out of here.
So we're gonna start in jail. It's jail. You're in jail.
Whoa.
I hope you're having fun in jail.
Where are you guys now?
I think we're in.
So I'm assuming that you guys are probably just sort of continuing along in the same vein, trying to pollute people against the Empire.
Pretty much.
And do your thing.
Those rebel scum.
So we'll say another night passes, and I'd like all of y'all to make some persuasion checks, just to see how well you do in.
Yes. 20.
22.
Nice. Northwest did not do as well. He got a 12. So what are your bonuses to persuasion, just for my
Mine is
information?
+3.
Mine is +4.
Okay, cool. That is good to know. I'm going to open up Morphos's character sheet so I don't get lost later on. So, with a 22, a 20, and a 12, you managed to definitely convince a few more people, sort of just going along the same tried and true veins that you've tried before, and they've been true, and a few more people are swaying to your cause.
How many?
I'd say 7 or 8 more.
Cool, man.
And they, of course, will begin to try and spread the word.
Just 10,000 more days of this, and we'll have most of the city converted.
Wait, no, at 7 or 8 a day, it's only 1,000 more days.
Oh,
it's only 3 years. You're
Just
good.
Yeah. Maybe we can get a commuted sentence.
Yeah.
Or you just end up running the place like a prison mafia.
So the next day, is there anything particular that you guys would like to do while you're in your cell?
Not
It depends. Like if it's.
You're not in a cell. And that's not. Well, that is your choice. Make it wisely.
Do I know when the trial's gonna happen?
It is now Sunday, and it will happen tomorrow.
Okay, then I don't really have much to do on the day.
Okay. However, I will say. Go ahead.
You know what? Do I know how thick this stone wall?
Yep.
Do I know how thick it is?
I guess Brian's getting stonewalled.
As you're, you can sort of look around at the other cells and get a sense from the others. Maybe like a 6 inches wide.
6 inches wide. Ooh. Okay, that's nothing. I got 5 feet to work with.
Yeah.
I think I'll make like a little. Actually, is there a way that I can like do this where I make it disguised and not obvious? Like, it says I can put
Can I
like
see the description of the
two
spell?
hinges and a latch, but nothing much finer detail than that.
Yeah. So it says finer mechanical detail.
Yeah, minor mechanical detail. So like, theoretically, if I could like get it to where it's like, it's not flat like this, but it's like
so it's sort
this.
of beveled inward so that it's not super obvious if you're looking straight on.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah, you can create a hole with a small bevel.
So
or even that the side of where the door will meet, I could go like is like this.
I think I see what you're talking about.
Instead of like this, where it wouldn't be able to open if it's like directly there.
Yeah, that's fair. Sure.
So that there's like a seamless door there.
Yeah, you can do that.
And I'll put a latch down at the bottom when it's not very visible.
Okay. Cool. There is now which side? The side that leads outward, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're on the first floor?
Yeah, so that'll actually be more like a foot thick, but that's not
Still.
That doesn't change the way the spell works.
Come on, you got this knife up there.
So,
just in case, because it's permanent. So.
Okay.
Until you use the spell again to make it go away.
How many slots?
Oh,
you
yeah,
got?
yeah, yeah.
Maybe you could be like an outing for a day if you got enough slots.
That's true. Oh no, I only have 1 slot.
Between long rests.
What are the What are the components? Mental and somatic. Okay. So your spellcasting
So I can say
focus
it
takes away from.
Quietly.
Oh
Yes,
shit.
I would like you to make a stealth check. It's not particularly high DC, just to make sure that.
Stop.
15 plus 1.
That is 15. Cool. Alright, yeah, that exceeds the jailer's passive
Oh shit,
perception,
watch
so
out,
you're
watch
good.
out for the,
Cool. Alright, so you make the stone door, and the jailer is none the wiser. And currently, has switched back from Balther to now being the first woman again, whose name I will give you in just a moment.
The first woman.
Oh, the one whose sister I healed.
Yes.
Gold gift.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and open up the town page too, so I don't have to go searching for it again in the future. Alright, so as you all are sort of chilling in jail the second day, something interesting does happen to you. Well, more around you than to you. Around 1 in the afternoon or so, the door to the jail is thrown wide open with a loud clatter.
Sorry, you said 2:30 in the afternoon? What time of day?
1 or 2.
Okay.
Around that time. Early afternoon. The exact time is not necessarily
Right.
Or known.
Right, afternoon. Got it. Okay.
Yes, early afternoon. So the door is slammed open with a loud ruckus, and in comes a group of several soldiers. And you can, there are obviously soldiers and not city guards, distinguished by the patterns upon their armor. The jailer, Godgift, kind of looks up, sees who it is, and just kind of settles back down. You look and see her appear a little bit disgruntled by the appearance of these folk. The group of them walks maybe up to like the beginning of where the cells in the top floor begin, and then take a left. And you recall from when you entered that this leads down a hallway that led to the staircase into the deeper levels of Mournhold. I'd like you both to make perception checks.
13. 10.
Okay. You see, the formation of these soldiers is intended to hide something from sight. There seems to be someone in the middle of the group, but you can't quite make out more details than that. They move around the other body in such a way that it's difficult to be sure.
So the door to the jail burst open to our cell.
To the jail.
To the jail. And there's a bunch of guards that came in.
Yes. Soldiers.
Soldiers.
Important distinction in this particular city.
Yes.
Okay.
And Godgift kind of heaves a sigh as they go, as the door down the hall, you hear it shut. And she,
Can I move?
there's a sour face about her.
God, guess what's all that about?
We've told you about Christoph. Oh, sorry, her voice was. We told you about Christoph, yeah?
A bit.
That's him.
What is his business here? You seem disappointed that he's here.
Aye. I get it, I suppose. It's wartime and all that, but torture has never sat well with me.
Who are they torturing and why?
They caught a band of Aravari soldiers near the border and took them in for questioning, so they said. But I've heard the screams, seen the bruises. Not right what they do, if you ask me. No human should be treated like that.
Why can't they just... Isn't there something where you can see if there's someone telling the truth or not?
Aye, but Christoph is sadistic.
Okay, so he's doing it for pleasure.
Indeed. He's an asshole, that one.
So... what can be done to stop it? Because that's not good information, what comes from torture, suggesting he's not in it for the information.
If I knew,
There's a way
I
to
would have done
distract
it
him.
already.
Can he be distracted away from that into some other thing?
The only thing he likes better than torture is war. If a battle comes by, I'm sure he'll stop for a time. The only way to stop someone like that for good, though, is, well, a knife to the throat.
Carnor doesn't have any knives.
Hmm?
Perhaps a
Yeah.
magical prison.
Just borrow one of mine.
Perhaps, but a man like him has many allies.
Does he?
People flock to those who are indiscriminate in their cruelty. Men who are emboldened see that, oh, there are no boundaries with this one. I can do what I will. And then they follow him so that they too might indulge their darker desires.
Does he come here with any kind of regularity or schedule?
Every 2 or 3 days, not particularly regular, but frequently. What is Kate saying? I'm guessing that's Kate.
See that Villa Elena on the table
Ah.
also in mail. Oh, it's yeah. I was like, what?
What?
It's Christine, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't know.
What's the username?
Stella something?
Oh, probably. Hi! Alright, so, anything else you all wish to ask Godgith?
How do I get out of here?
Easily, you're not there.
What's
Oh, I'm sorry.
what's on the other side of this wall?
Daylight, I would imagine.
Oh.
Let me think, yes, daylight.
Are there any buildings? Are there any buildings over there? Like what
Now you're
buildings?
making me
are
try to
nearby?
think what side of the mournhold you're on. No, from that wall, you'd be meeting the city wall in about, 100 yards.
You're asking the jailer how to jailbreak?
Interesting.
What?
I like an aside with at a
Sure.
just a moment.
She's not like super nearby, so she just like stops listening.
Right.
Just goes back about her
Well,
business.
how would you feel if we called Christoph over to have a chat with him?
Busted his brains.
What chat would you like to have?
I want to see this person. I want to know who he is. I have a feeling we're going to be crossing paths again, and I want to know him. But if you already,
If you want to truly know him, I can help with that.
okay, now is that going to be a problem for you?
We can fairly easily get out of this situation, I think, as you know. So, if a problem does arise, then I don't think
I
it'll
don't
be
want
too
to
big
get
of
out
an issue.
in a rush.
I don't either, but if it does come
Is he
to
going to
it,
recognize you?
why would he recognize me?
You suggested before that you've, when you were possessed by
Oh,
Malaraxis.
ethereal beings, that you gallivanted.
Make an intelligence check.
+1, 15.
You don't remember his face from the time that you were possessed by Malaraxis and in King Dane's camp.
See, I remembered Malaraxis' name.
Do I remember like the general area that I was in, right?
It was
Hey.
somewhat further east of here.
Hey, what's her name?
Godgith.
Godgith. Does Christoph ever go out east towards the king?
Oh, far be it from me to know what his comings and goings are, but sorry for also picking back up my accent without any warning. But I would imagine he's been east. What do you ask?
Well, we're thinking of getting a feel for him, inviting him to have a chat.
We'll
But
get naught from hatred from that one, I'm afraid.
We get hatred from a lot of places. That's okay. But it'd be good. I just want to. I also get the sense that you okay.
Rid, my pasty friend.
I also get the sense that this is the kind of person that would level charges on us, and that's why we're here. I want to see the face behind where these accusations come.
Well, for the little good it might do you,
oh man,
fair enough.
it's only lasts a minute.
That's true.
And then what? happens.
But
Calm emotions.
they would know
It'll
that
help.
that they were calmed magically as well
Yeah.
after that minute was up.
I can do it non-magically and they're cool with it, so
Okay.
don't worry.
I think perhaps we would like to speak with him anyways.
Well, if you can grab his attention, that's all well and
Actually,
good.
would you mind grabbing his attention on his way out?
Make a persuasion check. Choose the way to deal with him.
19.
Well, you've been naught but good to me since you've been here. I'll do what I can.
Okay, thank you.
She's the one that was gonna like create the distraction too, right?
Her sister was.
Oh, okay.
Well, good then. And she goes back to her work. So, Garrick.
Garrick. So
How you
in my
feeling?
Room.
No, you're currently being led through the gate of the
Okay,
city out into the camp.
Do you have some figures around me to like? Any idea what to deal with?
Sure. I'll get a little setup for you.
Thank you, sir. What you doing?
This thing doesn't keep a constant. It sometimes like disconnects and reconnects. So I'm trying.
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
look
try
nice,
to like.
Brian.
Always
You
looks
look
nice.
nice, Brian.
Oh, thanks.
Always looks nice.
Is that your wedding picture?
Yes, it's a wedding picture.
Wait, check. Your wig looks different.
Oh, yeah. I have a few of them.
Nice.
Bunch
Is
of
that
they're
the
pretty
info
cheap, so.
or
Huh?
what brand do you guys do you have?
I have a few different brands. I'd have to look it up.
Matt and I've been thinking about buying them because I don't always want to wear the like.
Yeah, I don't like my real one that much anymore.
It'd be really nice if we can have all this stuff on the table.
I think it's like Sargo or something.
Someday, Dennis. Someday.
Is the one that I like,
Ooh, I'll have to check that out.
but I think it starts with an S. But
Let's see if we can.
I have no signal in here. That's weird.
That is weird.
We're all on this side, right? Uses Wi-Fi.
No, this way.
It's okay.
Oh, other side.
I'm just building it closer to myself so I can reach it easily, and I'll push it back when I'm done. Let's see.
This is. Oh, there you go. Where does this guy go? In the front?
That's Norway.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh wait, that's Norman.
Yeah, I'm not there. Hey,
Oh, I
man.
thought he was the captain or something for a second.
Hey man. I know I look like a leader, but
Yeah, you're a regal people, Norman.
I like that regal people. That's a good term.
You're a regal people, Norman.
Did you say beagle or beagle?
Beagle.
Okay, that's a lot better than what. Oh, damn it. I'm so sorry that I
Beagle
was just like
beaver.
right in front of the
You
fucking
just-
camera.
Yeah, you just pointed your butt at the camera.
I think it was mostly my back.
It's what we all came to see.
Well, I mean, hey man.
Christine says, why do you ask? Oh, we definitely don't want to break out of prison. Okay, so you are being led by these four chaps. One of them, one of the women in the group, begins to sort of peer over her shoulder at you and says, we'll be leading you to the officer's tent.
Okay.
There you can tell them what you saw and why you think it was suspicious activity, and they'll take it from there. It's more for the soldiery than for the city guard.
How persuaded am I of her?
You have no idea this is a ruse. That was completely out of character knowledge.
Can I do a perception check?
Perception? Sure.
insight.
Insight, sorry.
Yeah.
9 plus
6.
Says?
Mine's
Oh wait,
on
9
5.
is over here.
Yeah, that's not what it landed on.
6. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's 6.
They are right next to each other, and it's kind of confusing with the...
9.
Okay. Okay, she seems forthright. She's actually definitely telling the truth as far as you can tell.
I'm going to.
She's also actually telling the truth. The words were very carefully chosen.
What'd she say?
Nothing.
She said, "We're leading you to the officer's tent. This is something better for the soldiery to deal with than the city guard."
What officers are over there?
Their names are Morven and Karstag.
I do know the name Karstag from what I told you earlier.
You do.
From what?
When he listened in on the tent outside of the city before you all went in, Kristoff was talking to a man named Karstag.
Oh.
And he was another guy that was in jail for war crimes.
Oh, Karstag was in jail? Well, but he knows Kristoff.
Mm-hmm.
So chances are Kristoff might be over there too.
Do you say this out loud? Or is that just you, Joel, musing?
No,
'Cause there'd be very
that's
little reason
Garrick
for-
musing.
Out loud or in his head?
In his head.
Okay.
So then I don't want to deal with Kristoff because I've seen firsthand what he does.
Mm-hmm.
These are the ones I like the most. They're just plain.
So are they looking in front?
Sacco.
Two of them. Did you rearrange this? Because I definitely had two of them beside you, and
No.
two of them behind you.
I think you were caught off by the.
Oh, that might be it.
Okay.
You sort of put them down real quick and then you meant to.
They are around you.
Okay.
I think you might have moved them slightly by accident when you turned them around. I think that might be what it was.
Hmm.
No biggie. That's a more accurate depiction of the arrangement.
I don't know, I'm a little thirsty. So just grab my flask. And then
Potion of invisibility? You're not moving yet. Okay, that misses. That misses. That hits. Probably. That is a 19.
19 to hit.
Yeah.
It hits.
It hits.
Okay.
You have the same armor class as you.
And the last one misses. That's actually a critical failure. And he hits his friend. However, one of them does hit you. So they all had readied actions for you doing anything sneaky. And so as soon as you turn invisible, they all turn and attack you. And I believe when you take damage, you are no longer invisible.
Do I?
Check it.
Is that for a potion?
I will
I'm
double
pretty
check.
sure it's that way
It's
for
definitely
the
for the
spell.
spell. I'll double check for a potion.
The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell, not for one that's hit. I don't know if it's the same for the potion.
Oh.
Probably is.
Yeah, that's actually true. Taking damage does not end your invisibility.
Yeah.
You
You can't attack anyone.
What if I drop something?
It would become not invisible, but you would not.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that will.
Hey, so that worked.
So
I'm invisible.
If you hurry, you can figure out what those suspicious people were doing.
I'm going to use my acrobatics and whoop-pa away from them.
Wapa?
you take
that a
7
technical term?
points of slashing damage.
Wapa! Wapa! He says out loud as he cartwheels away.
Okay. And you hear them all call out. You're not super far from the gate, so they begin running back and sounding the alarm. They are yelling out like, "Beware the Witcher! Watch for the Witcher!"
I put my glasses on so that I
Close the gate.
and I'm sprinting towards the docks.
Okay.
Because you said that I was going to be closer to the docks in like an hour's within.
You
like,
could
10
certainly
minutes.
reach the docks within an hour. Yeah, like if you're
So
running. Very
I'm
quickly.
using my acrobatic skills.
Okay.
to,
So
like,
that's to get out of the group initially.
Well, to get out of the group initially,
So
and
make a check.
I'm 17 plus 7.
Yeah, easy.
Nice. And I'm also using like the buildings and everything to get away from them without like
How are you getting to the buildings?
You're
You have an
invisible.
open field and you're invisible. You
Oh, I'm in a completely open field?
Not completely
No, but it's,
open.
you
There's
know.
like an encampment around, but like about where I am in scale is the city wall, which is now the gate is now closing, and the wall extends around it for maybe a quarter mile on either side and then a half mile back. All of that territory is effectively swarming with Danish soldiers, but I mean you're invisible. They don't know where you are.
So just avoid them.
Yeah, I'll avoid all of them and I'll go to the.
But if you're like
docks.
rushing to get there, you might have to make a dex check or something.
I mean, you already said you were using acrobatics to do a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff, so I made you make one check. Depending on how you want to get there, you may have to.
Yeah.
You will actually have to make one other regardless.
Yeah, but let the DM decide. Don't give him ideas.
You can give me whatever he wants.
That's what he said.
So, roll a stealth check.
Ooh, that sucks.
Okay. You are leaving obvious footprints in the snow.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's snowy. Yeah, it's rough.
You are unable to. You're trying to move too fast to make any distance or make any efforts to cover those up.
Okay. What I will do is. Are there anything near me following me or anything like that?
Right now, no. The 4 guards that left you are sort of milling about.
Okay. Anyone noticing the footprints? I'm using my super glasses to like peer around too.
Make a perception check with advantage.
I'm gonna take advantage of that one. 12 plus 3. Yes.
Okay, it does look like one person is sort of eyeing the tracks and wondering whence they came.
I will
No judgment.
make a wisdom saving throw for it.
For whom? Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. 10.
Fails.
Okay.
The person that
He's
noticed.
stunned until his next turn.
Okay. You also become visible.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is that an
It's-
attack?
it-
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I thought the signs don't come under that because they're spells.
It's
No,
or cast a
it's-
spell was
yeah.
literally in the description that
Yeah.
we read out loud. Would you like to take that back?
I would like to take it.
Okay. That's
Sorry.
probably wise. I'm not letting you do that again, by the way.
Okay, so just let me hear the constraints. Spells, potions.
No. It is any aggressive action effectively is what will end your invisibility.
What if I drop something?
That item will become visible, but you will not.
What if I drop a bomb that's lit?
Then you will become visible. That is a clearly aggressive action.
Nonchalantly.
Nope.
You can't get around it.
Okay,
He's not gonna let you.
Fine.
What if he dropped like a batch of cookies?
And a bomb.
Are they poisoned, Emily?
Yeah.
Well, maybe they have lactose and then the soldiers are lactose
The
intolerant.
soldiers are not lactose intolerant. They're
Maybe
not
they have
pansies.
peanuts.
Also,
Maybe they have
also
peanuts.
that wouldn't matter for a half hour.
That's true.
But they would be very uncomfortable later, and I live for that.
What if the soldiers were vegan?
And then they would ignore the cookies and just go after
Yeah.
you.
No,
It would have
they
no
thought
effect.
they were. It said vegan cookies on the bag.
They'd probably still ignore them because they were trying to catch a criminal.
Also, I'm pretty sure vegan isn't like a common thing. in this
Also
world.
that.
Hey man, come on. They lose their vegan powers. Have you never seen Scott Pilgrim?
They haven't introduced vegan powers in this world yet. Because no one's vegan. Because you'd probably die if you were vegan in this time period.
Probably.
No, they're breatharians.
Actually, no, probably not if you were a
B12.
peasant, because most of the time you'd just be eating like shitty
Bread.
porridge anyway.
But
Well,
B12,
bread, too.
You can't get B12 from anything but animal stuff,
That's
unless you
fair.
like produce it.
That's
synthetically.
fair, yeah, they'd have enough meat and they certainly could. Okay, it would be dicey. Dicey at best.
Yeah.
So he's
Bread.
gonna lose his invisibility because he needs B12.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's the sum total of this discussion.
Is he actually by a river?
Not anymore.
Oh, damn it.
So you're running towards the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's running around the gate,
No,
right?
I'm running towards
This way
the
is-
docks.
docks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
Docks
so
are
what we're going to do
free
to
gate,
resolve this, so he's looking and trying to see, where you are, which means. Let's see. I already made the stealth check, which definitely means we're leaving tracks. Make another stealth check for me.
Damn it. Don't fail me now.
You okay?
Yeah, I tried his trick.
15 plus 3.
Okay. So I'm going to roll with advantage for them to simulate they have a lot of people looking. But if they do not succeed, then you will get to the dock scot-free.
Close enough for a shot.
Their total.
A big shot. Shot and a half.
They're not proficient at perception, so their total is only 15. So they do not see you. All right. So you managed to make it to the docks.
Okay. So I'm gonna see if I can find where Jasmine is.
Okay. How do you propose on
I'm
looking
gonna
for
ask
her?
the boat captains because I think that she would have.
Are you still invisible?
Yeah. Well, I mean, by the time I reach out. Oh, no. I'm gonna go to a shop. I'm gonna steal some damn disguises, or get some disguises.
Okay.
That will cover
Why
myself.
would you steal if you could just pay for it?
You
Well, no, I
should specify
get
that
some
you
of
get
this.
rid of the armor.
You're not there.
Oh.
And wait. I've got the entire thing figured out.
Okay.
So I'm going to get rid of the armor. I'm going to disguise myself.
Okay, we're missing some steps here. So let's deal with the first one first. You're getting rid of the armor.
Yes.
So what are you doing with it?
Toss it up.
Like, where? You're at the edge of the city, near the docks. There's river on one side, a city on the other. What are you doing with it?
Drop it in the river.
Okay.
So it's 6.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So you drop the armor successfully into the river. Makes a slight splash. Look around, and it doesn't seem though anyone noticed.
And I don my own garb
Okay.
with my cloak
All right.
that I didn't have before.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna go disguise myself.
Okay. So what are you doing? Like, what are you looking for particularly?
Disguise wise?
Yeah.
I'm going to first. I'm gonna shave, so I'm gonna be completely baby faced.
Okay.
Then I'm going to get something to cover my eyes.
Do you have a razor?
Yeah, weapons.
Really?
I mean, I have knives.
It's okay.
You
All
die.
right. Go ahead and make a dexterity check for me.
Let me see if I actually have something.
I don't think razors are not part
They're
of the
not part of any
standard
of the
thing.
default stuff. So unless you bought one purposefully, I don't think you do.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to use a.
I mean, you can shave with a dagger. It's totally possible. I'm just asking you to make a dex check to see if you do manage to like cut yourself or just clean shave.
Or just like kill yourself outright.
18.
Okay,
You
yeah,
guys numbers.
you get a good clean shave.
Yeah, sweet. Looking dope now. And I'm going to get something to. Some sort of
seems
tinted lenses or something to
I didn't
like
get any, so you know.
completely
Try some?
I got
basically
it's enough.
get sunglasses
Okay.
or
make-
something to change my eyes.
Okay, yeah, something like shaded glasses would be the only way to do that. Make an investigation check.
19
Okay.
plus numbers.
That's enough. You managed to find a shop relatively in short order, passing by the wharf near the docks and then going sort of into the city proper for a little ways. You are still invisible.
Mhm.
So what do you, like, you come upon this shop and sort of peeking in a window, you can see wares that would suggest they might carry something like sunglasses or similar.
Did they also have disguises?
I mean, no one sells outright disguises. That would be very shady business practice. They'd probably be watched all the time and wouldn't sell any disguises.
Do they sell clothes and like?
Yes.
Okay. I'm also gonna take my dagger and cut my long hair off into super short.
Okay.
So.
You don't need to make a dex check for that. I
Yeah.
assume you're just doing one quick slice and you're not like right around your face and neck.
Yeah. Holly, stop, bro.
Holly, come.
Okay. So then what I'm gonna do is, yeah, I'm gonna modify my cool shades.
Okay.
So I'll purchase them.
Okay. When are you becoming uninvisible?
Before I get into the shop, so I'll
Just like in plain view of everyone, or
no, I'll when I open the door at that same time, I will be. No.
Okay.
So here you go. Here we go. This is a little bit better. All right. Door's opening and I'm visible and it's completely open. So now I'm walking in completely
so
visible.
it's not the people in the shop
Right.
that we're worried about. It's the people milling about in the city of 9,000.
Oh, I thought it was. Dang it! I need to specify next time.
Yeah, that was why I kept asking the leading question.
Oh,
Like,
I thought
how
there
are
were
you
only
becoming
people
visible?
inside
Yeah, I
the
know.
shop. Dang it.
Well, okay, so a bunch of people notice like a random invisible person become visible, and like 6 or 7 folk just kind of stop and peer over towards the shop. Make it a perception check. You don't notice them. As you head inside the shop, a couple of people enter behind you. And you do notice that, because that's relatively obvious. The door stays open and closes later than it would have if it were just you.
Okay.
Um,
Do those people, are those the ones that noticed me or not?
You don't know.
that. You don't know that they noticed you.
So I'm gonna go ahead and buy my stuff.
Okay. So as you look around for shades, what kind of disguise do you want?
I want to be a I want the most nonchalant disguise ever.
Okay, make an investigation check then.
11 plus
I'm
number.
gonna be slightly ugly.
That's the
12.
right thing to do.
Yeah.
12. Okay. It's not a super plain shop. It's like a little hoity-toity, but not like super fancy either. You managed to find like the plainest looking clothes in the place, and with your kind of unkept haircut and stuff, you feel like you could pull off the blend into the crowd look. So yeah, that will run you 3 gold. Okay. Mark that down.
Can you do maybe gold and like 20 silver?
That's 3 gold.
2.5 gold.
Nope, 3 gold.
Okay.
Thank you. This is not the bargaining kind of establishment, my friend. I apologize, but hopefully you will find our wares well worth it.
I hope so. These are the most expensive clothes I own.
For many, that is true. For those who patronize our store.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Are you discussing your voice? It sounds like you
I think
are,
he's
but I'm
doing
not
it.
sure.
I'm doing it purposely.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
that's what he
asking.
was asking. It's good.
I thought you were, but I wasn't sure.
I should probably find my friends.
Very well. Have a good day then.
Thank you. And I go and then like I'm gonna see if I can actually go to a shop similar to the one that Jasmine went to for like disguises.
She just went to a clothing store.
Oh, so
And you don't know that either.
Also that, but I figured that was just him
I like
saying
the
it.
No, I was
store,
just
and then I
wondering.
bought a wig. I did not.
Oh, so there's a wig make.
Well, and coveralls.
Yeah, but I bought this from just a normal store that sells
That's true.
clothes. Because I told them I was an apprentice
There is a wig
carpenter. That's why.
Is there a barber shop nearby?
First, make a perception check as you leave the store.
2.
Okay.
I don't see a barber
Um,
shop.
Well, that's so. Now make an investigation check to see if you find a barber shop.
Can I go back inside? and
Tom.
ask the guy if there's a barber
Tom.
shop?
Stop.
He's confused.
Okay.
Oh, super good. Most of the stops. Dennis, can you check chat real quick? See if there's anything that people are saying that's needs addressing. Investigation.
I'm not deciding what you asked.
Oh, you were going to ask him.
I was gonna ask the
So
guy.
Dripping
Hello.
blood from a wound might
Your voice
show up
Okay, so the dripping blood from
I'll assume
Very
you're
role
doing,
play.
yeah, I'll assume you're doing the same
Hello?
word.
No, damn it.
Yes,
I'm European.
it's fine. Just do whatever. As long as it's different from the normal Garrett voice, we're good.
I would like to get a haircut also. You see my hair is a little bit scraggly. What would you
Unfortunately, I
recommend?
don't know of any barbers in the area particularly, but you might have luck if you go to the barracks. They often do haircuts for the soldiery and the guards. It's all very close cropped, but it serves. Another option might be to
Ask random people on the street.
the docks. May be a decent place to look. Someone there may have the skill.
Okay. Where are the docks?
To the north of here.
Thank you. Here's a silver.
Thank you. Kind of gives you an eye as you're leaving, but doesn't say anything more.
Okay, and I go to the docks and I'm asking around for.
Make an investigation check.
I know.
Give you another chance. All right.
19. I better see the best damn barber.
You
Should
come
give
up
me a
to,
clean cut.
You'll find the best barber on the docks. So you come up to the docks and you're kind of scanning around, and you see a man with like just very heavy set, like barrel chested dude with like tattoos all over his torso and arms. He is bare chested. He's just letting it all out, despite the cold, which is rather impressive. He's a bit of a hulk of a man too. But you notice his hair is incredibly well done.
So, you're saying it's you with tattoos. Gotcha.
I am not. Maybe. I don't know. I do like the cold, that's for sure. I wish I had that many tattoos.
You are.
Yes,
also
I am barrel
He's
chested,
not
but
bare chested though.
that's true. Do you want me to be?
I was going to do that.
This is the best history.
Take it off.
So we're already really mature. So I think they only have a policy against female nipples.
That's discrimination.
It is.
You've been rated thick.
With a CC.
With a CC.
Was that super duper tastic?
Yes.
Good.
Alright. Hello, friend.
Greetings.
Do you do haircuts by any chance?
I do.
I am, you have very nice hair.
Thank you.
I would like a haircut.
I can see that. Have a seat. And he gestures to literally just like the side of the dock. Like there's a little pier jutting out into the water.
What do you do normally?
Whatever you'd like.
I would like.
If you want my suggestion, I do what I have very well.
I would come up and down a couple of times. I'd like to be bald.
Bald. Very well.
And take my eyebrows off too, please.
Are you certain?
I am.
Very well.
On the finer points of disguise,
I
you also want to
You said
not draw
ugly.
attention.
Yeah.
You could get some nice makeup. Pencil in your brows.
You got the dog.
Okay, fine.
You get a fish.
I mean,
wipe the fish
no
off.
one else is here. This is
Yeah,
Greg's
this
choice.
is this is what you
No,
decided
I-
already.
I
Dennis is
thought
allowed
the
to say
ugly
this stuff.
part,
This
like-
is your.
I thought the ugly part would help, right?
I said slightly ugly.
But again, no one else is here, so it's up to you. But the wisdom I think they are trying to go for is like only a little bit ugly. Lacking eyebrows is like very obvious.
You want to be like a 3, not like a 1.
Yeah.
I thought it would be
Like
negative for that.
or maybe even more like a 4.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like, use blade number 3 or 4.
Sure. Have a seat.
So yeah, don't bald me, but like, I'd like a traditional shipman's haircut.
Very well. He just kind of like his eyes go up to his own hair and go like, close enough. So
Are you a traditional shipman?
that's my ship.
What's it called? While he's cutting my hair. So.
The ship's called the Undermine.
Undermine. One of my friends. I was supposed to meet someone for a job here. She's very small. Did she enlist your ship, maybe?
Can you describe her to me?
Almost childlike gnome.
Haven't seen anyone like that in the past few days.
Are you a gnome?
She's a rock gnome, yeah.
I also have purple hair.
With purple hair.
Wait, you have purple.
That I would remember. Unfortunately, I've not
It's
seen
not
her.
a personality.
Any
It is in Scotland.
any other boats over here that?
He kind of just looks down
No,
the
and
docks.
any other boats that would take passengers?
Most of them for the right amount of coin.
Down the river, up the river.
Depends on how much you're willing to pay. Some of them may be going the way you want to be, and then it'll be cheaper. If they're not, it may cost you a little bit more.
Can you?
So as he begins cutting your hair, he pulls out a greatsword from his back. Yeah. And he begins like going to work on your hair. But he is incredibly deft with this greatsword. Like, it is ridiculous how good he is with this like crazy, heavy, unwieldy weapon.
Can you
He is just like slicing like.
Can you role play him, please, with me?
No, I mean, this is already how Matt cuts my hair.
So this, we
What a great
all right. So we have the match, we have the tools, we have the Joel.
That's not a
Ha.
face, is it?
So he's just going in like right up against you.
All right, wait.
Shaving
Let's
off.
get on camera too.
It can see us. That one can. So he's just like getting right up there with like going right in on the side of the head, going for like individual hairs that he's like, oh, and this slices it right off. The blade is like has the keenest edge you've ever seen or felt. When he is done with the top of your head, he puts the greatsword back on his back, takes out flint and steel and a small bundle of sticks, strikes them, and lights one of them, and brings it up and begins burning your eyebrows off.
Wait, no, oh, damn it, did I?
It hurts like a little bit, but it's not to the point, like he is so good with his work that it is just close enough to burn the brow and nothing more.
Man, I should have told him not to burn the brows, because I decided, like, to do a 4 or 5.
Oh, well, then if you said that, then he didn't do it.
Okay. Cool. Well, let him do the edges then with that.
Okay, sure.
Because I like that mechanic.
He'll singe like the little bits of like the stubble that even a close shave can't quite get, and like the bits on the cheeks, on the jawline that were left behind.
How does Garrick look now?
You shine. You like catch a little bit of sunlight and it like blinds a nearby sailor.
Oh, so I'm completely bald now?
Yep, 100%.
Wait, I thought I was doing the seaman, Scott.
Yep,
Which is complete. No, he said himself, right?
you didn't.
No, he looked up, so I thought like he was. Oh. How ugly do I
You
look?
said in traditional scenes.
And that's his idea of traditional seaman.
To some people you're a 2, to others you're a very strong 3.
What she said, even though she isn't here.
Who was that? Alright.
Must have been old Elrith.
Do you have any friends that you could ask maybe about this purple-haired person?
I can put some feelers out, come back maybe end of the day, and I might have something for you.
How recognizable am I?
Are you asking me or him?
No, I'm asking you.
Does he know? Can he
If
see
somebody
himself?
were,
No,
I mean, he's close to
yeah,
water. He can like
Oh, okay.
kind of peer and get an idea. If someone knew you and they could look in your eyes, they could tell it was you. But like
with
from
the
afar, or if
sunglasses and
somebody
everything.
wasn't familiar with you, no.
And with the sunglasses and everything?
Yeah, like if they, like even if Jasna came up, like she wouldn't recognize you until you took the glasses off, probably.
You know, I really wouldn't recognize you if you got a face tattoo.
Actually, except for the fact that you're wearing the same clothes that you usually do with them, so
Yeah.
they might know.
Yeah.
Well,
But, like,
I wouldn't be wearing the same clothes.
You said you put on your normal garb.
Yeah, but then you bought
No, I
clothes,
bought
right?
clothes, right?
You didn't say you put them on.
I don't. Oh, you did buy clothes. Never mind. I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought you only bought the
I
glasses.
thought
that
that
shot.
he
That's
did
my
get
bad.
three
You're
reasons.
good.
Also,
Also,
put them on.
I
Yes,
would
that's
assume
that's
that
reasonable to
put them
change.
on.
That's fine.
Yeah.
No, that's my bad. Sorry. Yeah,
No.
you're definitely not wearing the same clothes anymore. Might be.
So I give him like how much would the haircut be?
Few copper.
I will give you 2 gold if you also find out about my associate with the purple hair.
Pay me at the end of the day then.
Okay. Here's 1 gold for you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Jasna, what are you up to?
Okay. So basically,
killing now.
yes. So Jasmine doesn't want to kill anyone, but she comes up. She really wants to cause some civil unrest.
Yeah.
So you know what? That's what we're gonna do.
Fuck these folk.
Well, okay, no. So there's multiple reasons to cause civil unrest. One is I've learned that the 5 people in the council that are going to be judging you might have they're the nobles. I know who they are. They might have a neutral opinion of the Danish soldiers, but if they have a worse opinion, then anything that you guys have done that has conflicted with them will look better. So if I make them think poorly of the Danish army, they might be more favorable to you if you end up on the trial. Also, I just like wreaking havoc. So I have 2 and one of them is I want to desecrate something religious and make it look like it was the soldiers so that the mass public is against the soldiers. And then I want to try to pay off a close family member, preferably child of one of the council, and have them pretend to be kidnapped by Kristoff.
Okay.
So,
which one would you like to do first?
Let's do the kidnapping so that we can have the council get word to each other that whoever I picked, like, so they contact the other councilmen and try to get that negative Danish vibes up before I just start wreaking magic havoc.
Okay.
Cool.
So, what are you doing to figure out who these council people are and
I
if
know
they have
who
kids?
Okay, so I know who they are, and I am invisible, and I am right outside of Bolsa's office right now.
Was that part of the information you discovered when you?
Yes,
went
he
to the
gave me
records?
Seraph, Gotessa, Edgar, Etrojoya,
Shit, let me see
and
that.
Hanilda.
And Nilda.
This is what I got.
David.
And David.
And Bob.
Dave.
And Bob. He's his uncle.
I didn't mark it down in my notes, so I thought I hadn't given you this.
Did you?
Give me a sec.
Oh yeah, sorry. So you had
bolt came
basically. So I just disappeared and pieced out of that guy's office while he was looking for the folder of my faux dad. And what I really want to do is start poking around in the judiciary building that I'm in to try to find any records I can on these council people and whether or not I can dig up something about their families.
So, Norwin, are you ever gonna even try to message me?
I have no reason to message you.
My character doesn't particularly care for your character.
You
I didn't know
never
how to
care
spell
for my
that. It
character.
sounded kind of French.
Damn it, Norwin.
And I also, like, my character also knows that, like, you're very mischievous and tend to get into bad situations where you're gonna get hurt. So you're probably
Quick
busy
correction,
right
just for
now.
your notes.
Okay, so it's
I'm not
Goltessa,
really busy at
Edgar,
It's still Edgar, it just has an
and Hanilda.
A. It's Etrukiox.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I want to start. I'm gonna walk around the building that I'm in right now and try to find something that looks like familial records, like heraldry type thing, because I assume
I
that's gonna be in
also-
this building.
Mhm.
And I want to try to
You
pull
met up with.
as fast as I can, figure out where something.
Did
in
you
one of
ask
these
Jasmine if
families
she
would
met up
be
with
so I
me?
can
Sure.
start.
Guys, can we kill the chatter while we're...
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what should I roll?
Investigation.
Whoa, yeah.
27.
Damn.
Oh,
I got a 19,
everything.
So your past 4 rolls have been 17, 18, or 18, 17, 18, 19.
So, did you ever salt test those?
You should know to kill the king right now.
Do it.
A lightning strike.
Oh.
See?
If it had
They
been that
got 20.
20, would you have killed him?
No, but I would have done something that weakened him.
He has mild indigestion.
For 2 hours. Quick, run.
He ate Chipotle. A lot of Chipotle.
He ate the Chipotle pork before they pulled it.
I see what you did there.
find?
It was pulled pork.
So with a 27, you find out. First of all, you find there are 2 other council members that he did not name.
Oh, okay.
Alrunia, that's Aalrunia.
Oh shit.
A-A-L.
A-A-L?
What's the last thing over there?
And
No, the other
Vorg.
one.
Borg?
Vorug.
This is Sarah.
V-O-R-U-G.
Okay.
Sarah.
Vorg. It's like Zorg. It's just like Zerg.
Borg. Okay, so I'm assuming that I have located
Yes.
the
So you find out
room.
the records of those other two members of the Chromatic Council. You find out also all of their residences, and they're all in that sort of cul-de-sac area. You also find out which of them have children.
Excellent. Which of them have young, easily bribed children? That's really cool.
None of their children are particularly old.
Excellent.
Seraph has a daughter named Terza.
Terza?
Gotessa has a son.
How old is
named-
Terza?
The record doesn't say because your DM doesn't know.
Can I get a preteen, like...
Young
Give me
enough that like they're still definitely in custody of the parent.
Okay.
All of them are that young.
Okay.
So they're probably all
preteen.
around teenage years, something like that.
Okay. Seraph has
Maybe a little
has,
younger.
Seraph has a daughter.
Named Terza.
Terza.
Gotessa has a son named Azert. Edgar has a
Wait,
daughter.
son,
A-Z-U-R-T.
A-Z-U-R-T. Can we pretend that I wrote all these down?
Sure.
Okay.
Edgar has a daughter named Glafira,
Okay.
and Hanoga has a son named Hungal. Or
Okay.
rather, sorry, Vorug has a son named Hungal.
Is there any personal information about any of these kids in this file? In their files? Or is it just
No,
like
it
basic
just seems to
heraldry
be-
stuff?
It
Okay.
just seems to be like familial line and where the hell did I just put my pen?
Okay,
Borrow
so...
It's okay, I'll find it.
Oh, here.
Wait, no, this-
Continue.
Yeah, so basically I want to go, I'll start with Terza, and assuming she's a kid, what I'm gonna do before I stop by her house is...
Oh, sorry, Glafira is Alrunia's daughter.
Okay, I only wrote down the first two, because I'm gonna start with them,
Oh,
if I
no
can't
problem.
find them, I'll start going down the list more.
Okay.
Basically, I'm going to assume that she is a preteen or younger.
Sure.
And what I want to do is, I want to go find a candy and a toy store, and I'm going to go buy, like, 50, maybe not 50, but like 25 gold pieces of the nicest candy and toys that I can get.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Okay. Oh man, only 10.
Prunes, they like prunes, right? That's candy.
You don't end up finding a candy store, unfortunately. But you do find a toy store, and you find some toys of pretty good make. The first two are a guy and a girl, so like, I don't know, I'm gonna be really gender normative here, and you find like one like wooden toy soldier that looks really cool and even like moves his arm with a sword to like hack at something. And you find a very nicely made like wooden doll with like nice fabric, like actual like canvas clothing.
Okay, cool.
Canvas linen, probably more like.
I'm gonna buy the doll, assuming it's really nice. How much is it?
10 gold.
10 gold? Okay, yeah, sure. I hand 10
Actually,
gold.
that's really steep for a toy. 2 gold.
2 gold? Okay, so I hand 2 gold to the cashier, and I ask the cashier, do you know of any good bakeries or candy shops in town that the children like?
Oh, what a little one like you should know, shouldn't you?
Oh yeah, I look like a kid.
You should go to Charming Charlie's.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Where is it?
Wait, Dennis, did you get that at least?
Charming Charlie's.
Like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, that's really made a wooden box.
Where is it?
Oh,
I'm a kid.
if you,
Where is it?
where are your parents?
My dad's working on the construction site by that law building over there.
And you're old enough that he lets you run around on your own. How sweet. So, if you go just out the door here and take a right and
Okay.
go 4 doors down,
Okay.
and then go to the shop behind that one,
Okay.
that'll do it.
Excellent. Thank you, miss. And I skip away.
You're very welcome.
Very adorably. Anyway.
Aww. Melts your heart.
Make an adorable check.
Make a charisma check.
I have a
Performance.
plus 20 to adorable, so don't.
Don't talk to me about
Excuse me. I decide what your bonus is for skills that don't
What's
exist.
my bonus to adorable?
20.
Okay, what's
Is that real
Norwin's
or in
adorable?
Both.
What's Brian's adorable?
Oh god, I thought some
Brian or
butler
Norwin?
Both.
Brian's is also like a plus 20. Norwin's is not quite so high.
Okay, what's Joel's
Not doing
humor?
this.
Okay.
Not doing this for
Okay,
everybody.
so I skipped out to the
Aw.
chocolate store, and I run in happily. I want to look
Okay.
super cute, and I'm giggling. As befits a
As a
tiny
boy?
creature such as myself.
A little boy?
I'm young enough boy that it's
Alright.
cool.
Let's
Anyway,
move along with it.
yes. So, and I would like, I walk up to the counter and I say, "Hi, Miss. Assuming it's Miss."
It is not.
I say, "Hi, Mister." Can I have a gold piece of your best-selling candy?
Oh, well, how could I say no to such a cute little darling such as yourself? Let me see. Best-selling, you say? He strokes a long white goatee, sort of looks along the wall and says, I think this will do just fine. And he brings down little like caramel turtles. And
Okay.
he hands them over to you and says, this would be about a gold piece worth. And here. And he pulls down like another maybe half of that amount and gives it to you and says, I haven't seen you here before, so have a little extra for your first time.
Thank you, sir. And I drop a gold piece in his hand.
Thank you
And I
very
happily
much.
go away to Sarif's house.
Okay.
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay. So on the way there, I'm actually going to change into one of the sets of fine clothing that I have. And I'm assuming that one of them's female. Is that a safe assumption?
What do you mean one of them?
So I
One
have
of the
two
kids?
sets of fine clothing
Oh, one of the.
that I found in a trunk somewhere. And
Oh, yes, one of them is female.
okay, I'd like to.
I think I said one male, one female. Maybe I
I
didn't.
don't know if I
but
wrote that down. Anyway, I
There
still
was.
am trying to come off as a kid, but I want to look like a aristocracy.
Like a fancy kid.
Like a fancy
Aristocrat
female
kid.
kid, because I'm gonna go try to stalk Terza, and I want her to vibe with me.
Sure.
So you want to be an aristocrat?
vibe with me, dude.
Okay, so I go to
Yeah.
that. I want to go to the house and kind of sneak around and see if I can figure out where she is.
It's relative. Actually, make a perception check for me.
I think I'm +3, but I can check. I think it's 10.
Ooh, so Matt, while she's doing that, what was the drink that you were making, and can I try some?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah.
Sorry, you were doing right by taking your stuff off the table. I screwed it up. My bad.
Can I roll with advantage?
What?
Since you tripped over my dice.
No. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works.
Is it like the old lady in the Facebook? The old lady in the Facebook. I'm like you. I'm unfriending you, Norwin.
What?
I'm unfriending you
In
from
real
Facebook.
life?
So it's a little more than
I don't have Facebook.
shots worth of whipped cream vodka.
Okay. What is that?
It'd be better
This
with ice
is
in it, dear.
Torani sugar-free peach syrup, and then a dash of orange bitters. You're right, it would be. I'm gonna grab some ice.
And then
So-
do you want me to? Do I have to? Do you want me to? How much of
Well, I bet
this
some of
do
this
you want
would
me
be
to
over
act
there.
out, or do you want me to just tell you what I'm trying to do and I can roll for it?
The latter.
Okay.
I'll throw some ice in there.
So
Oh, thank you,
basically,
sir.
I'm going to come and I want to try to befriend Terza and then tell her that
You're supposed to look at me.
if she seems like she's a nice person, I'm going to try to appeal to her niceness
Yeah.
and say that
Do the same.
the evil Danish soldiers took away one of my parents, and I wanted to get back at them
You guys are horrible.
to
You're making me feel just.
try to even it out kind of. And I got her some chocolate, and if she helped me, I'd give her my favorite doll too, so that we'd be best friends, and also she'd be helping me get reunited with my parents.
Okay. So
Is
first,
that
first, make a perception check.
okay? I'll look at it.
Right.
Okay. It's not super hard though. As you walk around, you do notice the family seems to have a couple of guards posted outside of their house. They don't seem to be city guard. They seem to be paid by the family.
Yeah.
And they're just sort of walking around. They're mostly casual, and they don't really seem to take much note of you. What you see that notifies you to Terz's presence is you see an open window with what looks like a slightly pre-teenage girl sort of just leaning out of it, looking a little bit bored on the second story.
Okay.
Dude, this is good.
So, do you want me to act through the whole thing? Because it might take.
I mean, how would you like to, like, we don't have to necessarily do every little bit, but...
Yeah, so I want to kind of skip up below the window, and I will
She looks
go.
down. She looks down.
Miss Teresa,
Yes?
I was wondering if I could talk to you.
I suppose nothing's stopping you.
I heard that your family was really important, and I wanted some help because something really bad happened to my family, and I wanted to try
by
to
the
fix
way,
it.
she is Golden Dragonborn.
So she's really shiny?
She's very shiny.
You're so pretty and shiny.
Thank you.
Oh.
But yeah, so the Danish army took away my parents, and I heard that there were some people that were going against the Danish army, and they were going to be on trial. And basically, I wanted to help my parents, and I had a plan, and I thought you might be able to help me help them.
Like a secret plan?
Like a secret plan, and I brought some chocolate to share with you.
Okay, hold on.
This is so good roleplay.
Make
Look at the back of my
I was
van.
gonna
Make a persuasion check.
A and B. I thought I was gonna be the role player today.
Oh, no.
Emily, damn.
Oh,
It almost went up on the 20 and then came back down.
For a 2?
4.
4.
She's not gonna believe you.
There's like a bunch of other kids though. You just keep
Um,
at it.
I appreciate you coming by, but my mommy says not to talk to strangers.
Okay. I'm sorry I bothered you. Would you like
Is
this
it-
chocolate turtle?
No.
No thanks. But
Okay.
you're really pretty too.
Thank you.
She goes back inside.
Can we assume that I go down the list of
Yeah.
kids until I find one that'll
Sure.
listen to me?
So go ahead and make another persuasion check.
9.
That's better
Oh,
though.
that's
You're working
Oh,
with
that's a
kids.
7.
I thought it was
Another
a
one?
I thought it was
because it was
one,
good
too.
class.
You're working with kids. Cool.
7.
Oh man.
Luck had to run out sometime. All right, you have one more chance with Vorig's son.
I thought I had 2 more.
You've had 3. There were 4 kids.
7.
Unfortunately, none of the kids seem receptive to your plot.
Ugh, I have to start killing people now.
Wait, you had another
I'm-
thing.
I'm-
Do you say that aloud? Do you say that aloud?
that's a takeaway.
Ooh.
We've cut.
Does Jazza say that aloud or
No.
what? Oh.
Jazza thinks it. Oh no. Anyway, so basically since that doesn't work, we're gonna try plan B, because we have to do something to these council people so that they're
On our side.
not happy with
You'll be not happy now.
okay, fine. I need to go steal something of Kristoff's, and then I need to murder I need to murder all the household pets at one of these council people's houses.
Wait, I'm sorry.
What happened to Plan B, and why are we on like Plan double F now?
Double F.
Well, the thing about desecrated holy sites is, I guess we'll do that next.
The
It
hell?
doesn't have the same oomph as killing all the pets. Come on.
Fine, let's go desecrate some holy sites. Okay.
Before
Sad.
we do that,
Also-
we're gonna jump to the jail scene again.
Also,
Fine.
is she
Jazz,
chaotic evil or what? Because she's definitely chaotic evil.
I'm definitely chaotic.
Jazz is gonna stress eat a few of her chocolate.
She's kind of chaotic neutral at present.
Is that really neutral?
She hasn't done anything outright evil.
Yeah, she doesn't actually killed the pets yet.
So she's stunk it.
Don't
it's,
you ever
I
think
mean,
things
we've
like
all
that,
definitely
though?
like been in a
Yeah.
post office and been like, man,
I'm
I
sorry,
could kill
are you
everybody
asking in
here.
real life or
Yeah, like in real life.
Yeah,
Either way, the answer is no.
Wait, so when
That's
you
not-
Killing
that's
all of
actually-
somebody's pets.
Well, not maybe
Okay,
not
like,
pets
okay, so when
necessarily.
you hold
Wait,
babies
can we
or-
can we
sorry.
bring the volume down a little bit? We are
Okay.
redlining a lot.
No, so it's like when you hold babies, or you're like, if I drop this baby, it would die. Do you ever think stuff like that?
In a scared way. Like, oh, I
Sure,
don't
and like,
Well,
I don't
okay.
really want to hold this baby away.
Let me give a more quotidian example that doesn't have to do with pets or babies, but like it is a well documented like psychological phenomenon that like when you're in a room with like strangers or people in like a public setting, a lot of people, like well over half, think about like, I could kill a lot of these folks. It wouldn't be that hard.
Could you kill me, Matt?
Easily.
Humans-
Humans are very weak.
I've thought about it in a non-specific manner.
Absolutely,
before.
yeah.
Yeah.
In a purely intellectual way, where I was
Right.
like, I'm probably smart enough to get away with this.
Yeah.
But then the fact that I think that means
Right.
maybe I'm not.
Absolutely. Like, but that's a thing. That is a very
Well,
well documented psychological phenomenon. Dennis is thinking we're all crazy.
Also,
No, he's not.
yeah,
I'm
I
concerned
think-
that I'm the oddball in like, oh, this is what sanity is, and
I don't think of that either. No,
I'm not sure it's
I've thought of
necessarily
it
sanity.
before.
I think it's
Though,
like
you're
the fleeting
vegan.
moments of
I can
insanity
totally
that
take
help
that.
ground us.
I like that, Matt.
It's
He's
okay.
vegan. I could totally take him.
But we shall know him by his works, and
And vegan.
That's the idea.
that's more important.
Okay.
Don't judge me by when I think about killing people. Judge me by when I do it.
I mean, you have
I'm not
enough
it.
swords.
I do. All right, so back into game.
Okay.
So
Okay, so
we're
you're
gonna turn
gonna
back into
leave me,
jail.
yeah.
Yep. So,
Not a regular
It's-
thing that I think about though. I thought about it like once or twice in my life. To be
that's fine.
clear.
Keep digging.
um,
Have some words.
it's not like I think about it every day.
Okay. Okay.
So, as a few hours pass, it's maybe now like late afternoon, getting on towards early evening, and you hear the door creak open again. And you hear a set of footsteps come out, and you see a line of soldiers led again by that same person you saw before, who you assumed to be Christoph. The other figure is not with them this time. And as they are about to leave, Godgith goes, "Oh, Christoph, and you see him sort of look to the side and just kind of like looks taken aback, like. "Why
Are
you
they
talking
past
to me?"
our cell yet?
They're sort of, if you leaned out, you could sort of catch a view, but they're sort of perpendicular. So your cell faces this way, and they're over here. So there's like a wall almost up to
Are
where
they
they are.
more towards the exit?
Yes.
Okay.
Godgith says, some folks in the cell in the back wanted to talk to you. I'm not sure what about, but it sounded urgent. Up to you. And sort of, this should be fun. So he goes over and he doesn't ask her which cell it is. He doesn't give her any more note than that. Walks down the hall a little bit with his lackeys in tow and just sort of calls out, "All right, which one of you runts is it?"
Over here, sir. I'm still, by the way, sitting down.
Yep. Guess I misspoke. You're not a runt,
Yeah.
are you?
I beg your pardon, I stand up and I reach to shake your hand, but that may be seen as an aggression in a jail, so,
Keep him in.
right.
For the first time, like almost everyone that you've done this to has been like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
fine.
phased.
That's fine. I'm not trying to,
No, I know. It's just, it's something you would note in character. Is like, even if you don't intend it as aggressively, most people are like, "Whoa, you're big."
yeah.
He's okay.
So, I understand that your name is Christoph.
That's correct.
Yeah, we've been hearing some interesting things about you. You are the leader of the soldiers here.
I'm their commander.
What brings you to a place like this? How do you feel about it?
How do I feel about being here or the place itself?
Both.
Being here is whatever. I have my orders. Battle will start soon. The place itself,
People here seem like cattle.
you got that right. Most people do, though.
Excuse me, is that a dig?
Are you saying that in character?
He is a
Yeah.
giant cattle.
Sorry. Is it?
I think the answer's already no.
Hi. It's,
If you
it's
can
funny because
think-
I kind of look like a cow.
If you can think enough to have that idea, then no, I don't think it's a
Oh,
dig at you.
it's just a little self-deprecating humor.
The cattle don't think. He sort of looks around at the others.
And do you find that, so this is just business? It's just orders?
Stepping stone in the river,
Oh, what river? Do tell.
the one up north.
Okay. I thought this might have been
Metaphorically.
metaphoric. I thought there would be a metaphor here that was interesting to.
Yeah, most people don't get my metaphors. I'm glad you did. Well, in that case, the metaphor here is, yeah, I'm a commander for now, but the king has much greater things in store for us.
Like
This
what?
is a stepping stone to being part of that great order.
I could do.
You're already a general. What else is there?
A king. A
Yeah.
god.
Oh. Wow. It seems like it would be well of me to be on your good side then.
I would say so.
It's very ambitious.
Mm.
So how do you feel about the king in this? So is he going to be the? I'm having a bit of trouble wrapping my mind around that.
Far as I can tell, he might be useful to me. But I've got my own plans. If he helps them out, so be it. The moment he starts to be a hindrance to me, who cares?
You seem like exactly the kind of strong guy that knows what he's about, who can assert that kind of control over his own destiny.
You're damn right.
Perhaps we could be of some help to you as well.
And what could you do for me?
We are part of the Keepers of Fate.
Haven't heard of you. Make an insight check.
7 plus 5 is 12.
Seems forthright. Actually, check for it. It's cocked. He's heard of you.
You gonna give him a son of
Most
three?
people have heard of us. No mind. We have many talents. I have many spells and a god at my disposal.
Hmm.
I have, in fact, defeated a dragon.
You're those fucks. I see. I've heard
I'm
about
good
you.
at that too.
Now I know what you're talking about. You're those ones they brought in. I'm supposed to be at your trial tomorrow. It's too bad I'll have to kill you.
Why?
King's orders. Like I
just
said,
you just said the king might
so
not
far,
be as helpful to you.
he's not in my way.
But perhaps there's another way that we could be.
What
of
can you
service.
offer me that the king of a great nation cannot? He has wizards at his disposal. He has seemingly the power of a god, from what I have seen.
Does he have a dragon at his disposal?
Not anymore. And that is precisely why I think I have to take the axe to each of your heads. I have to admit,
That
now that I've
dragon-
met you, it seems
That
the
dragon.
pleasure I usually take in the execution will be dampened a bit. It's too bad.
That dragon was me. It was possessing me. I had no choice but to kill it.
Be that as it may, the king wanted it. You're in his way, and until further notice, I serve him.
Well, perhaps he doesn't have to be king anymore.
You also seem awfully certain that we're to be beheaded. There is justice here, yes? There's a fair trial?
Not if I'm there.
I see.
Sorry, it's nothing personal. I just
No, I get it.
swinging
I get
the
it.
axe. And Morthos like kind
So-
of suppresses a smile. He's like,
I'm a little bit, so it's nothing personal, you're just swinging the axe, but if you're there, there's no justice.
yeah, because I like swinging the axe.
Well,
It's not personal
what
against
if you're
you.
not there?
Okay,
Then you might have a chance.
What if we could make it worth your while to not be there?
Make a persuasion check.
16 plus 3.
I'm listening.
Well, there's gotta be something that you want.
Everything. What can you start with?
Well, for starters, I think that we
Tell
can
me this. What do you know of the war?
We know that you are moving on Orgillion soon.
That's true. Interesting.
That's very
I
close
have-
to us, Gilead.
I have powers that can help me divine certain information. I
That could prove useful.
various things that allow me to spy on things miles away, or
Tell me, if you have these powers of divine foresight, what happens if I kill you?
Ogma will not take kindly to it.
Is that Ogma speaking or you?
It's both.
I saw no magic.
I speak.
No magic where?
You said you were a cleric. You can cast the spell augury, can you not?
Yes.
What happens if I kill you? Is it good or is it bad?
Okay. I fake cast augury with my bones or whatever.
No.
And then-
don't do
Z.
Make a deception check.
Ooh, goddamn! Crit fail.
Come now, it's a spell slot. I know how this works. My right-hand man casts magic much the same way you do. Do it for real. Let us see. The
Okay.
answer isn't so much important to me as whether or not you'll do it.
Yeah, I do it.
Okay?
that. Well, so
Whoa.
It seems like bad things will happen.
So I was gonna say, even if you didn't say whoa, I would have said whoa because you're casting it for him, but you're saying in your mind when you invoke augury.
Right, he's asking the question in a very particularly phrased way. That's
No.
part of the spell.
Yeah, but if he phrases the same thing, whoa wouldn't matter to him.
It
not
doesn't
him.
apply to me, it applies to the.
Yeah.
Yes, this was all for good.
That was
all
implied.
part of how this played out. It's
Oh.
all good.
Yeah. We're on the
Um,
same page.
Very well then. If you survive tomorrow, come find me. We'll talk again about that ability of yours and maybe have you make another prophecy for me. But I won't be there.
Oh, okay.
That's. He said if you survive tomorrow, which in my mind was like a very obvious implication that he
Yeah.
wasn't
Oh, yeah.
there. Because if he's there, you die.
Yeah.
But then I was like, that might not be that obvious. I
Okay.
should make it more
I
explicit.
thought that was.
I did not think it was clear, so
It's
thanks.
yeah.
I really wanted to have to kill this guy.
You can still do that.
Yeah, I'm still gonna kill him anyway.
Well, Christoph, it was certainly a pleasure meeting you. Very
Make a
interesting.
deception check.
Sorry, that's. It's
It's
just
not.
manners.
It's not deception. Yeah,
It's
it's
just
fine.
manners.
Yep.
Trying to find the right word that shows an
It was,
appropriate amount
certainly,
of.
it was certainly worthwhile speaking to you.
And to you as well. Say. And he motions to one of his soldiers who passes him a flask. It's kind of on the DL. He opens it, takes out 3 wooden cups, pours, hands one to each of you. 4 cups rather, and hands one to Morthos as well. To future partnerships, should they come.
To new opportunities.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Before he looks back.
Alright?
Explicitly, I did not drink it.
Very well. He puts the cups back, hands his flask. Let's go, gentlemen. He walks out. Actually, he doesn't say gentlemen. Let's go, assholes. He walks out.
See you later, assholes.
Is that their group's name now, the assholes?
They've always been the assholes. Alright, they don't respond. Like, they don't, he doesn't, like, get mad at that. He just kind of,
It's just, that's what you call them, right? I mean, looking at, like, you know, Norman and Morthos. Sorry, did I mess up the language again?
no, that was right.
Okay.
So,
I thought this was the battalion name or something. I don't know.
I think I might want to just keep this as is and then like get a little box that has a light in it that actually makes
Okay,
it glow.
you sure? I mean, I don't mind painting it at all.
Kind of looking for, like, I tried doing.
I mean, we could also paint it, like, we could order a second, like, thing of it and paint another one.
Also,
if
I was
you wanted
like,
to do that.
Dennis, can you build a wooden box?
With light in it, yes.
Tiny
Easy.
one.
Yeah.
Alright, so now let's jump back to Garrick.
You're gonna try to find me.
I am.
Okay.
Super Bowl.
Well, no, it might be. I'd rather meet up with him so we don't have 3 separate
Yeah.
storylines.
Yeah.
He can find me.
I shall allow it.
I have black hair right now, and I look like an adorable.
Yeah,
small
neither of
child.
you really
Oh,
look like each other,
I see.
so I want both of you to make investigation checks.
Wait, but
Can
she's
I?
not,
Okay, wait.
she's not trying to
Can
find
you,
him.
can
Oh,
you-
sorry. I was gonna say I have that carriage. I don't know if I can get it out of the bag of holding, but I could definitely use that to troll around the city looking for him.
Are you looking for him? I didn't think you said you were.
Well, she
You
just
were
said
gonna
that
go-
she'd rather be together.
So we don't have 3 separate storylines.
Well, so I was gonna give
Emily
you
wants to make it nice for Matt.
Oh, I see.
No, I want to.
It's more better for it's more
easy-
that it's better for you guys.
It's easier
Less
to
downtime.
desecrate antique religious sites when you have 2 people instead of just 1.
Exactly.
There you go.
He's really good at
Reasoning.
desecrating things like that.
Yeah, I know.
As we saw it
That's why they call it that, the desecrator.
So I'm gonna go look for Garrick and have him
Oh shit, yeah, sorry.
get him on board.
That was way too loud.
I mean, I'm just gonna turn the mic down. That might help.
Oh, yes. Oh, let me roll your dice.
Christine, if you can hear us, how that has the audio been, and let us know if that's better.
Please and thank you.
What'd you guys get?
Yeah, so I got, when it sat on the floor, it was a 15. You want me to roll it again?
Yes, on the table, please.
Ooh. I got outside Tim.
Alright, let's.
Depends
She
on
said it's
you,
very
Garrick.
Can I help him?
So it's very
Help her?
Now it is.
She goes in the opposite direction.
13 plus numbers. What is it, perception?
No, investigation. It's under intelligence.
14.
Okay.
I love that sound.
Damn it.
It's
So now I need to hit on Jesse, is that it?
What?
Because you and Norwin have the thing, now they've got that, now I've got to hit on Jesse.
I was hitting on this.
I was asking him
Actually,
how
can I
that
have
was
that
going.
dice?
It was a friend asking a friend about
Don't read too much into that.
alcohol.
Oh gosh. But holy shit, Matt, this is delicious.
It is quite tasty, isn't it?
Ugh.
You rolled a 14 total?
Yes.
Okay, about the time frame that I was just telling them they were, so like late afternoon, you spot one of the only gnomes you've seen in the city. And you can't, like, there's only a few things that cue you in that it's a gnome and not a halfling, but you're like, I don't know many gnomes with that, like, skin tone and that stature. Or many gnomes, period.
Gnome.
So you take a chance.
Hello, Gnome.
Garrick?
Well, wait, make a perception check. That's not going to be immediately obvious.
9.
And if it
Not immediately obvious. Wait,
so
that's
if
a 9,
it
isn't it?
Oh,
Isn't
oh
it
yeah,
12?
so 12.
Might be.
so if it's not obvious, I'm doing basically like freaking beggar Jafar.
With a 12, am I right?
You have a suspicion that they know you, but it's like you don't recognize him.
Hell
Do
no.
you know me?
Do you know someone named Jasna?
Maybe. Who's asking?
Garrick the Witcher.
Yeah, it's me, Garrick. dress or something.
Oh, I don't think a
He makes a
ball
very
dress
convincing
person
woman.
would work.
Ugh. You want to help me desecrate something?
Sure, if we can get a roasted leg of lamb.
I'll buy you a roasted leg of lamb if you help me.
Deal.
Okay, so here's the plan. I'm trying to get some civil unrest started here because the worst that this there's a council running the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this council is going to be present at our Keeper of Fate trial tomorrow. And the worse the council thinks about the Danish soldiers, sorry, the better it's going to go for our friends. So we need to make something really bad that makes the Danish soldiers look like crap. So, can I use some of the knowledge that you gave me, or do I need to go figure it out?
You can.
So I've been doing some research, and I figured out that at first I thought we could just create a temple and pin it on Kristoff and his goons. But then I learned that around here they worship the souls of the sailors that have perished. And there's some holy sites that are under the water around here. And I thought maybe, I don't know if you still have that armor, but if not, maybe we could steal some and we could like pretend we were excavating or
I
something.
was going to say, I don't have the armor, but I have the vestment.
Yeah, we should use
The,
that.
the outside thing with the.
You kept the tabard.
Yes, that. You're the one that you have, which is like blue and. So what I'm thinking of doing out of character, or kind of probably in character, but I don't want to do the accent for a long period of time. I'm sorry, my back is hurting.
You also know I'm me, so you can talk normally.
Well, I'm trying to keep up appearance.
Just say it quietly. Yeah.
So, what I'm trying to do is, if there's a statue outside that is like an immediate thing that the townspeople go around, like a founder of the town or something like that, I want to put the thing on him.
And then blow it up.
Well, not desecrate, not blow it up. More like make it seem that the Danish soldiers are pushing their culture and trying to take over.
I think
You
that's.
seem unimpressed.
I think we need to go big or go home. We have 24 hours to convince these people that the Danish soldiers are out to ruin them.
Okay, what if we do that and we blow his head off?
That sounds good. And then you pee on it.
Garrick, make a.
No, that pee's on you. Let it pee on you.
Wisdom saving throw? Yeah, wisdom saving throw.
14 plus numbers.
Plus 0. Plus
0.
Okay.
Should I make a wisdom saving throw?
No.
Oh.
For a brief moment, just fleeting, you feel something in your chest. Like you feel this like dark pressure. It's weird to describe a pressure as dark, but like that's the sense you get from it. It feels like a sudden pit, and it's gone.
That board did sit with me well. Hey, come on, man, roleplay.
Hey, are you okay, Garrick? You look like you just winced.
Yeah, that board did sit with me well, I think. Maybe I need more lamb.
Nah.
Lamb is better.
Why don't we do this first, and then we can grab some food.
Just like, nah.
I still
Pate?
think... Pate?
Pate?
What is that?
Pate is
I
better.
don't know what that is.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't realize.
I really don't know what
You
it
don't
is.
know what pate
We'll
is?
cover it later.
I still think that,
It's
yeah.
cat food.
No!
Lots of pates or lots of cat foods are sold with the word pate in their name. to make
Okay,
them
so
sound
we're
fancy.
gonna get that soldier. Oh, ew. Why would I eat that? So we're gonna...
Oh, no.
I want to hear what you're gonna do. I'm going
Okay.
there. I want to know.
Also,
So-
you're vegan, so.
Okay, so I still
Those are
think...
pretty
I
delicious.
think you're sold... If we can find this kind of central town place and blow off the head and put the tabard on it, I think that's a good idea. I also really think we should dig up some of these ships because they're very holy, and I think we should.
How are we going to dig up a ship? A. B. How are we going to, like, if we had cram more strength and stuff like that, how are we going to do that stealthily?
Well, let's see. When you're invisible, does everything you touch turn invisible?
Yes.
Well,
Wait, not everything. Not like a building.
Well, yeah.
but if I
That's
touch a
what I'm
boat,
Like an object.
so if I have,
ship?
okay, So
If
in
you
my
touch like a small John boat, maybe.
is there anything holy that we could get out that people would recognize?
You don't know from your.
I have an idea. You could pretend to be my ward, and we could go around as tourists of the city and look at places around here and get some ideas.
It's a good idea, and we could plant bombs at all of them. So after we're done looking, we can explode them all at the same time.
Do you have a mechanic?
What kind of sophisticated timing devices do you
say,
have?
yeah.
You're an artificer, actually. You're probably pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's got little tiny nuclear.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
atomic
How do we
clocks.
make it look like the soldiers did it? I still think, okay, so like Christoph Apple's bad news. How do we frame him for all of this?
Oh, you were trying to frame the asshole. I see. I don't know.
How would we figure that out?
How
Does
would
he
you figure
frequent
out
any
how to
like
frame them?
brothels or something? Maybe I could get like information on him there.
Let's make this go.
Faster. We need to.
Yeah. So let's
I don't know what to
say make a general investigation check with advantage.
Okay.
Just Jasmine.
Oh, okay. Can I assist?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm giving her advantage. I'm
Oh, okay.
assuming you are. I just think she has the higher
So
bonus,
18. 18.
so. Okay.
That's exactly the same.
So with an 18, you don't necessarily get anything particular for Christoph. But you do get the idea that like any things that had like religious importance to these people would probably be around the docks. And actually, as you're going, sort of making rounds about that area, you find a statue that seems to be like there are flowers laid at the base of it, and there's an inscription upon it that lauds the deeds of one Bertolf. Who was apparently
Bertolf?
Yes.
Okay.
What if we put shit on it?
Do that.
Who was effectively like a very well venerated previous ship's captain, and
I mean,
the,
hey, that's easily
the
accessible.
inscription goes in
I've got
and
an unlimited
details how
supply.
like a lot of sailors will ask him for guidance when they're leaving harbor, and like he sees many ships to their
I
destination
mean, hey
safely.
man, I had some bad boar I want to get out of my system.
Okay. So let's And this statue seems influential.
It does, most certainly.
Okay.
In fact, as you're like making these rounds, you see several people like kind of go by it. and
So I don't
make
want.
reference.
Can you turn the statue invisible?
I can, but I think the better idea is we should. I don't know if we want to use that tabard. We need to find some way to tie this to the Danes very effectively.
We'll use a tabard and we'll smear shit in its face.
Well, I don't think we should
Wearing
smear
it.
this. Yeah, maybe
Oh.
we could have you put it on and smear stuff on it, and I can give. I don't know if you have a bomb. If we have an hour, I can make something that'll blow up.
I have a bomb, but it is very. Okay, how are we gonna pull this off like without us getting caught? Is my question. Because
Well-
yes, we could do that, but like you're the only one who can go invisible.
I can. If I'm close enough to you, I can make one that goes invisible. I believe, right? Isn't it one?
No.
Oh wait, actually, yeah, I think this.
She can make a statue, she can make him, right?
I don't think she could make the statue
I think
invisible.
I get to
Oh.
pick one person, but I'm not sure.
I got an idea. What if you make the tabard
Any
and
creature you touch, so yes.
what if you make the tabard and the shit invisible? You smear it on. Well, you're making yourself invisible. You smear it on, and then once you let go of it, it becomes visible again. And
It
suddenly,
cannot be an object that you touch.
what do you mean?
It has to be a creature.
Oh, creature.
To make it invisible.
Oh,
Like
man.
objects that you're wearing or carrying also become invisible.
But as soon as
But-
you drop them, they go.
What if we created a distraction while we were doing the distraction? You snuck up and did that.
I think that for maximum efficiency, they should see you doing it.
But I don't look like myself. And I
Right.
don't look like a Danish soldier.
I think she meant see you doing it like
In the tabard.
tabard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jasmine, make a perception check.
20.
Okay. You notice a figure that looks vaguely familiar walking towards you.
Is it that dude that helped her?
I whistle at him.
He's already looking your way and kind of puts a finger up to his mouth to signal silence.
Okay.
Who is that?
He walks up to the two of you, kind of nonchalantly, not really paying attention to you, but like goes up and like pays reverence to the statue. Looks over and then like pretends to see the both of you for the first time and goes over and says, "Oh, hello. It is good to see you both again."
Hello, who are you?
What do you mean? I am Alan Gill, your old friend.
I'm
We
Gary.
know him,
I'm
Garrett.
Gary.
We know him.
Come
My name
here.
is not Garrick. My name is Erden.
Oh, yeah.
Evan, it's been a while, I'm sure, but certainly you recognize me.
Gil, would you be interested in perhaps helping us start something that would ultimately help this town?
Only if I can ask something in return.
Can we
What
start
is
a
it?
fire?
I need Garrick, not Erden. But you are needed, my friend.
What would you have me do? I'm a pretty old man.
It's unfortunately not something I know much about, but
Yes.
I can take you to one who does.
What is?
She's a soothsayer, and you will
Could
currently
we,
feature somewhat prominently in a prophecy she's just had.
Gil, could you help us and then, because our friends, their trial and perhaps their execution, if it goes poorly, will be within the next 24 hours. Perhaps you could
Yes,
help
I am
us.
aware.
We could do this, and then Garrick and I could follow you in the meantime and try to help you solve your problem while the effects of what we
I
do.
think that works out well.
So the idea is that you want to deface the statue.
Yes, we want to make
Well,
some kind
let's head
of
off.
statement to turn the tides of the public opinion against the Danish soldiers. The statue's a...
Well, that would do it.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you think we should do that would be most effective?
I have this tabard. I show him in my bag.
If you put the tabard on the statue, it will look like a setup.
Oh.
People will think it too obvious. Why would a Danish soldier leave his tabard atop a statue that he just
Because
defaced?
he's conquering it.
This is an idiot. That is silly. It makes no sense. You don't want to be captured. You don't want to turn the people against you. That would be moronic.
What would you
If
do?
it were me, I'd leave something more subtle, like a trail of footprints that seemed to lead back to a certain place. I can do so.
Charles, now you can turn it, but don't do that.
Where did the soldiers drink?
That's, yeah.
Or just
Perhaps.
do it back and back.
Someone knows.
I know where the soldiers drink.
Excellent. Why don't
That would
we...
be a good place to lead them.
Let us go there. They also have excellent meat.
Well, first let's deal with the statue, and then we can...
Is that the nice meat place, or is it the other place that I
It's the
saw?
place that you antagonized the guy.
Oh, I
Luckily,
I'm
you
going
don't
in
look like
there.
So everywhere?
Well, the tavern owner, particularly.
Okay, so let's why don't we...
You're right. That wasn't precise enough.
So I could turn invisible, deface the...
Truth?
I could turn invisible, deface the statue, and then while I'm invisible, follow you both as you walk back to that tavern. And,
I like it.
okay. Let's
What is that?
do it.
Cardboard?
So, it would be better to wait till cover of night to actually do the defacing. Whatever you had in mind would work. Beheading it, smearing shit upon it. and things.
I like beheading things.
Okay, be
I just smear that shit on you.
Somehow I'm not surprised.
Here, take some of my gunpowder.
You're gonna give me your PCs.
I did too. I thought that was gonna end in the word shit, not gunpowder. And I was like, wow, what?
Well, I was gonna give her gunpowder so she can make a gunpowder.
No, it makes sense. It
Yeah,
totally
right.
makes sense.
I was like,
That's
wait.
just like we've been talking about fecal matter and throwing shit on it, and I was just like, that's where I expected the sentence to go.
Alright, would you like some,
We could just go get a chamber pot. It wouldn't have to be your food.
but this is more fresh. And plus, I had that bowl for lunch that doesn't sit well.
Fresher poop is probably not good. You want this
You
to
want
like
it to,
festering
yeah.
for a while. Anywho,
Oh, you seem quite the shit expert, Matt.
I mean,
I've had a lot of animals and had to clean up a lot of shit in my
Should we
time.
like draw a penis on it?
Giant
All right,
dick.
Chester.
No, I just mean like, isn't that
Are you just Laura Bailey? Is
No,
that just,
is
is that
that
what
what
you're
You
we-
trying
actually
to
have
do?
a really good point there.
Like-
Even back in like
It
Roman
actually-
civilization, they were drawing penises.
100% would actually be great.
Okay, fine. We're also going to draw a penis on it.
What
Okay.
is this penis?
Are you gonna draw?
you don't know what a penis is.
I mean, I probably heard another.
He's a eunuch.
I probably heard another name for it, but.
I learned something today about the cat story.
I mean, you know cats and dogs. I would assume what you think is penises.
Let's move.
Penises have barbs.
So you wait until nightfall, and you defeat
Yeah,
this
and that's
statue.
what they did to mine.
And I'd like you to make a, I'll say a survival check to convincingly make these tracks.
Okay, yeah.
Can I help her?
You
14
can
plus
make it with advantage. Since he's-
Crit.
you're making it
17.
separate.
Oh, he crit.
Okay,
And I got a 7.
awesome. Together the two of you. Second time tonight. Brilliant, my tasty friend.
I'm good.
Popping on the back actually doesn't help, so I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Does it not?
We
No,
basically
it
it.
makes it worse usually.
Yep.
Really?
And
Yeah.
put graffiti on it.
Yep. Draw a dick on it, smear shit on it, behead it. You do all the stuff. You lead these tracks back towards the pewter crescent.
Jasna, you forgot the bobs on the penis.
No.
I just turned to him and go, no. I keep walking.
Ellen goes like, I'm with you.
You have not seen the bobs?
Anyway, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to this bar, and I want it to be freaking raucous. Is that a
Oh
word?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
it's
So I want to buy free.
very crowded.
I walk in and I yell, "Free drinks on me!"
There is just an uproarious cheer that goes up. All of them are like, who are you? We don't, just shut up, you don't care.
Right. I want them to be wasted in the morning when people start to follow this up.
Okay.
Hashtag.
Like, shwasted?
Wasted. How much is this gonna cost me?
Hashtag.
Every
Every college movie ever.
Wait, are you asking if the word shwasted is a UVA thing or this idea?
No,
It's both, because it counts if you have a word for it.
Yes.
Okay.
no, Schwasted
Fun
is
fact.
shit-faced and wasted.
Fun fact, a wahoo can drink 3 times its weight in alcohol.
What's a wahoo?
It's a kind of fish, but it's also the
Have you had the
the
drink?
informal term for people who go to UVA.
There's also a bar that has a specific drink called a Wahoo, and when you drink it, you're like,
It's really high
It's-
alcohol content, and it doesn't really taste like it. It's very
How
dangerous.
do we know that this certain type of fish can drink that much alcohol?
It's a joke because there's I think
You're
there's
drinking
like a
like a
running
fish.
joke. Like
Oh,
a
I
fish
thought this
thing.
was like a scientifically determined thing.
No,
and I was like,
I said fun fact to particularly deceive you into
oh,
thinking
okay.
that.
anyway, in
So-
Jazz's extensive experience
Yes.
as a,
No,
Artificer.
It costs you 45 gold
that's
to
fine.
get everyone wasted.
For a coup.
Can you also get me
Yeah.
a roasted rack of lamb?
You
like
did
you promised?
promise. Actually,
I
you
did.
promised leg.
I promised leg.
Okay.
So that's
okay.
what you're gonna get. I get it for him, and I say,
If
but
you
you're,
wanna try and
but you're
barter
eating
for
it
that.
on the go because we are not gonna be here in the morning when the angry mob shows up.
Okay. Would you like some bread?
Where'd that bread come from?
I have it in my stores.
Oh, thank you.
I
She gets creeped out. This is nothing new.
I'm creeped out.
I always have like a stockpile of food because I'm a food dude.
This is not something you have said before.
You stole that shitty bread from the bedroom?
No.
Right, you get some hard tack.
Not a hard tack. The lady brought bread too.
All right, so you haven't spoken of. Oh, she did bring bread. All right, fine.
I actually agree with Rolla.
That's
Derek has
fair.
been building a kind of persona of going after
Sure.
food
No. So certainly there's like
And
a
keeping
going
it.
out and like wanting to buy good food.
and holding
But
on
he
to a
has
bunch.
he has not said so much about that other than meat, which is where my skepticism comes in.
Yeah.
okay.
If you had said like, oh yeah, I pull out like some of the remaining beef I have, I'd be like, yeah, sure.
Okay, then I do that. Here you
Okay.
go, Jazz. Try this. This is their specialty from
From yesterday.
Oh God, not this place! No! You're gonna get kicked out again! I'm sorry, that was...
The
Out of
tavern keeper
character.
does not recognize him. It looks very different, and the tavern owner is none the wiser.
And
Another
I'm
jerk bringing back
totally
smoke
doing
up
a
here.
different sort of structure for my actions and everything.
Mhm.
Okay, here's what I was going for. Strider versus Aragorn. That kind of
What?
difference. Yeah.
That's not what you're role playing at all.
But
No, I'm intentionally being like meek and all that shit. In
Okay.
the books, not in the movies.
Sure, but
Anyway,
that's fine.
so he gets his leg of lamb.
Clark Kent, Superman.
It's fine. We're
Okay,
done.
so I'm gonna hand you your leg of lamb, and we're gonna hightail it out of there with Alan Gill. And do they proceed to get very, as they say, shwasted?
Oh yeah, they're super drunk.
Excellent. We've set this up perfectly. Now let's.
Also, shwasted is a vocabulary from our generation.
So as you all are leaving, Alan Gill turns to you and says, "Now can we go?"
Yes.
Let's go.
Let
Very
us
good.
help you with your.
I tuck my cloak up.
I suppose you can come too.
Oh, do you just want Garrick? Because I am happy to stay in the city and.
Just
more
now,
bacon.
I would prefer you accompany us so that we don't get lost.
Oh, very well. Just don't hand me any more of your feces.
I didn't hand you any feces to begin with. It was gunpowder to behead the damn thing. And plus, you didn't even light the
It
fuse.
was a joke.
You didn't even light the fuse.
Okay.
It was a joke. We're moving on.
Okay, I followed them
What's
because
up?
yeah.
I have a nice comment about pocket bacon from this tree.
Pocket bacon.
Pocket bacon.
I like it. It rolls off the tongue very nicely.
I
It's
like
clever.
pocket
You ever heard of
bacon.
the little like?
I can keep saying that. It gets better as you keep saying it.
You ever heard of the
Bacon.
groin pots? Where it's
Groin pot.
like a little belt that you wear and it like goes in your pants and it like cooks food as you hike. And,
Because that's like a warmer spot in the body.
yeah.
That's really
Someone
awesome.
should develop one that does the back of the knee, because that's the warmest spot.
Well, you're a physics major.
I mean, it sounds gross, but I tried it.
I mean,
It's
I'm
covered in
assuming
like a
it's-
plastic
Yeah, I'm
bag.
assuming
so,
it's like watertight, so I'm not
yeah.
worried about like the sweat or anything getting
Yeah.
in. It's fine.
I think Garrick needs one.
Well,
to
ask
cook
your
all the raw
DM.
meat that he carries around. Yeah.
I mean, hey
At
man.
least he doesn't carry dead wolf for like days on end.
I know.
I forgot it was
An
in
entire dead wolf, not even like
Yep.
freaking dead wolf meat or like.
Oh, friends, I have a carriage that we could take depending on where we're going.
Where is this carriage?
What are you going to use to carry that carriage?
Yeah, it does
Um,
need to be drawn.
Whatever happened to our horses and mule?
I think we
You still have them.
Yeah, you stabled them.
Oh, we can get one of our
Oh,
animals.
Mr. That will help us.
The stables are almost as far away as the place we're heading.
Oh,
So
then never
So
mind.
let's head over to the stables and then head over to the place we're staying.
why would we do that if?
So then we also have the horses when we are at the place we're going to.
Why did you need the horses?
Maybe make a quick
Security.
getaway. If
I-
they're both in the same area,
I question the wisdom of it, but if that's what you want to do, we can do it.
let's get our horses just to make sure.
I don't know if when we stabled them they knew who we were. My only concern is that they might know that they were ours and we might not want to show up just in case they.
Well, neither of you look like you.
Oh, fair
Right, that's the
taking
point,
that. Yeah.
That they won't give them to them, or
Where
they-
they'll-
Do you think they recognize everybody? They just go by
I
name.
was gonna say, we could be servants of those people. They look noble enough.
I think we can just follow Alan and go.
Okay, let's follow
So-
Alan.
Okay, so Alan Gill takes you through a couple of alleyways in the residential district of the city until he comes to what looks to be kind of a rundown looking shack. It doesn't look like a particularly nice place. It's in some disrepair, but as he opens the door, there's a warm fire glowing inside, and he sort of he doffs a hat that he has been wearing and bows deeply, and says, "Oh gosh, what was her name? I'm so bad at
Hail,
names.
Soothsayer, I'm Airden. I want to see if she recognizes me or not.
Who?
The Soothsayer. If she's actually a Soothsayer, she should know who I am.
Fulsworth, it's good to see you.
Hail, Soothsayer, I am Airden.
I've brought him." And she looks up, and you can see, you would recognize her were you there. She's a tall elvish woman with almost platinum blonde hair, and we should, yeah,
Whoop,
that's not
whoop.
gonna. This is not going to be a good space to put things. Sorry.
I mean, I can move some stuff over.
She knows Cranmore?
Yes.
I'm so sad.
See, it pays to not just flip people's heads off all the time.
I haven't blown someone's head off in a really long
I'm kind of
time.
learning how
Hey,
to
did you just blow off the head of a statue like
Yeah,
5
but that's
minutes
not like a
ago?
Whoa, stop pulling heads.
Hey man, that's fun, okay?
Okay,
That's
so
some guy's idea for fun Saturday night.
What's your name?
Folswyn is a tall elvish woman with
Full
like
Swan?
Folswyn.
Full.
Folcwyn. She's an elvish woman, tall and slender, with blonde hair, green eyes, and very pale skin.
I am Larry. Oh damn it! I changed my accent again, didn't I?
You can drop the act. I know precisely who you are.
Who am I then?
I will not prove myself to the likes of a witcher.
Oh, you are right. I am Garrick the Witcher. I pull off my awesome shades, and I stand straight up and tall. What use would you have of a witcher? Then.
Oh, it's not the witcherness that I need. You swore a pact with the dark god.
And I never saw anything about it.
You swore a pact with a dark god?
The scroll.
What?
A secret, apparently. Nonetheless, the time has come.
I did not receive anything for such pact.
Did you not feel it a little while ago?
I do not feel any power. I do not have any power.
You have power.
What do I have?
Oh, yeah.
She stands up and she walks over. She reaches a hand out and puts her middle finger on your forehead. And you are overcome with a vision in your mind of a tremor shaking the earth outside of the city. It rocks the walls to the point that you see rubble beginning to fall off of them and crack. The walls themselves hold mostly sturdy, but there is structural damage beginning to occur within them. And then of a sudden, from the ground bursts this enormous creature, showering nearly a half mile around with bits of dirt and rock that have erupted from the Earth's surface. When the dust finally clears, you see an immense purple worm towering into the sky, nearly 150 feet out of the ground.
The fuck? Wait, from where?
Is it a worm?
What?
What is it?
It is a purple
It's one of
worm.
these things.
Wait, in the middle of the shack?
Oh.
No, this is a vision. It is.
Oh, okay, so I can't see
Did
this.
you not hear that at all?
I was watching Brian eat that fruit leather.
Fruit leather.
Is that
That's
what you call it?
So there is, I think there's a brand that is called fruit leather, which is why she has the
That sounds
association.
horrible.
It's actually pretty descriptive. It is fruit flavored and has a leathery texture to it. It doesn't have the texture when you're like biting into it, but like if you feel it, it's kind of
Okay. I
yeah.
love
So is
It's
so
vegan.
is the fruit
Yeah.
leather.
Leather doesn't sound very vegan.
Hmm.
Don't they have vegan leather too? I think they do.
Yes.
Go on.
It's fake.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Never.
Yeah.
Ignore my interruption. Sorry.
So you see this immense purple worm.
Ew.
Are you speaking out loud?
To the worm.
Okay.
It's in your vision.
You randomly hear Garrick say, "Hey!" And as you're watching, the encampment of Danish soldiers is suddenly roused, and you hear this shouting and this raucous preparation for battle as the soldiers are rallied and brought into formation, and nearly the entire camp is emptied as they go and fight this purple worm.
Oh, so this worm is actually happening.
No, this is what you're seeing in your vision.
So I can summon worm?
No. You get the sense that whatever you're here for is going to bring that about.
Ah.
She pulls her hand away from you.
So I can summon this worm?
What worm? What's happening?
I have a worm.
It will happen momentarily.
I have a worm.
I have a worm. It's purple. What's his
Can
name?
we stop the worm?
No, she's made the pact.
What
This is a
pact
done
did
deal.
you
If
make?
I want to kill the king by using some sort of power.
A worm?
Apparently it's a giant worm.
That has not been revealed to me.
Is the worm evil?
Most certainly.
Well, then
Can
we've
I-
got to kill the worm.
Can I summon it a couple more times?
Wait,
Or is
but
it
if the
just
worm's
once?
evil, why would you summon
I
the
do
worm?
not know.
Is it a one-trick course?
What?
A one-trick course.
I do
Me?
not know.
Yeah.
I just said that.
Well, I don't like big things that I can't control.
Okay.
Is it? Does it answer to me?
No, it answers to no one.
Who's no one? Obviously.
Yes, I was thinking that.
Wait, so you're telling us that momentarily a giant purple worm's gonna come and kill us?
No,
Who is it going to kill?
you had the vision.
Yes, but
The army rallies against it.
Okay,
You asked for the power to free your friends.
but that's not destroying the prison at all.
When you say the army rallies against it, do you mean the worm will help the army, or just the?
The army rallies.
What does that
Against
mean?
the
Against
worm would
the
be
worm.
that they fight the worm.
Yeah. So.
Oh, so the worm will kill the army, and then we can kill the worm.
Yes.
Wait, could we?
I have been shown nothing further than what I showed you.
Okay.
There is a battle.
Who is this god that I now worship?
I have no idea.
Okay. Sup, man?
You're likely looking in the wrong direction.
Sup, man?
You know what kills worms?
Bug
Salt.
spray.
Oh, bird.
I was gonna say birds.
Well, yes, we have a few
A
options.
giant
I think.
bird.
Well,
A dragon.
I think that we
A
could.
drain bird.
I think we should let this worm do its thing if it's going to get our friends out, and then we'll worry about
Ancient
killing the
dragons
worm or taming the worm, or yeah, because I think,
Entertainment.
or we could
We
try,
shall call it Johnny Worm.
or we could try to.
I hate to inform you.
The salt lakes, aren't there salt lakes somewhere around here?
No.
No.
Oh, what are the lakes?
The
like?
Finger
Mirror
Lakes.
Do they have salt?
No.
The
Oh,
Finger
God,
Lakes.
Mirror
I
Lakes.
say it every session.
Mirror Lakes.
Wait,
Mirror
what are the
Lakes.
Finger
Thank you.
Lakes then?
They're not a thing except
It's
in
in
the
New
real
York.
world in New York City.
Then how do I know that? I've never known
They're
about the
beautiful. It's worth knowing. You should check them out sometime.
They are beautiful. That's very true.
Okay, so we need to go get our friends out before the worm takes over the town.
Okay, let's go get our friends out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, you don't have time
Where's the worm?
at hand.
What if we? Oh.
And as, oh my God, as she says that,
I also have a -1 intelligence, for God's sake.
no, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You
were
got a
not-
-1 to your score. It's a 0 bonus.
Oh.
You have a 1
There's nothing wrong
intelligence.
with that.
So sorry,
It's perfectly average.
Just
It's
to
not like,
clarify, Soothsayer, did you bring us here to tell us to kill the worm, or just to generally inform us of the worm?
I brought you here so that the one who would bring it about would be in a safe place when he did so.
So you like the worm?
I cannot stop the worm. It is inexorable.
His eggs are
But then
what
why
now?
did you want to make sure that he's in a safe place while the worm is summoned?
Actually, I didn't hear that. I heard something about its eggs.
Inexorable.
So,
What does that
I'm
mean?
sorry, what are you getting out of
Unstoppable.
the worm?
Hmm?
Like, why do you care about the worm?
I don't.
Oh,
It was shown to me,
about.
and
And the
whoever can
cons.
bring this into being
Okay, so you
seems to be possibly of great power.
you
It is in
and
my interest to protect such people.
so you and Alan Gill are trying to help the forces that be.
We are trying to protect what we can.
Okay,
Do you think we should kill the worm?
Yes,
Okay.
If
Do you
possible.
know? Do you have any insight into what would kill the worm?
if you can do more than an army, then I would be quite impressed. But from the vision, the army is going to battle.
We have a Cranmore.
It's not an army. What if we made a very large salt lick?
That sounds good. Yeah, I mean, you are kind of hoarse. I'll move on.
Alright, Garrick starts glowing. A black light begins emanating from within him, and you begin hearing a tremor from underneath of the earth. It grows in magnitude until it feels that the very earth is beginning to shake and move beneath you in a oscillation that you have never yet experienced. Suddenly you hear a great roar and a great din erupt from outside of the city, and you all in the jail hear this too.
I think I need to poop.
What exactly do we hear? Is this
Also,
alarming?
does that help for?
Godgift, what's
Does
going on?
the ground shake?
Garrick, I think we should make our way to the jail.
Let's run to the jail.
Okay, while we're running, if we see a
Do we
horse,
feel
I
the
wanna
ground
steal it. Are there horses?
Not nearby.
Okay, we keep running. We keep looking for horses. I want somebody to pull this carriage.
I probably still redline, and I'm really sorry.
Okay, we're running. We're running towards the jail.
So I'm going. If I see a horse, I'm gonna jump on it using my
Garrick,
acrobatics.
you are unconscious.
How am I unconscious?
Because he said
Oh,
so.
fudge!
We have a question. This is important. Is it a legless dragon worm with a Y, or is it a giant earthworm?
It's a
With
big,
the Y.
big earthworm.
A big earthworm.
Yes.
It is a big earthworm.
Okay, so
Thank
I'm
you for
going
monitoring
to.
chat.
So since Garrick is unconscious, I'm going to.
When I have more space, that will be
Do
easier
you
for
still
me
have
to
those
do.
bagpipes?
I do.
Okay, I'm gonna stick one in your mouth and throw him in the bag of holding. Well, kind of push him in because I'm not really strong enough.
Alan Gill helps you, and you're
Okay.
able to quickly get him.
And I look at Alan Gill and I say, "Let's get them."
Stay with me. And he grabs you by the arm, and you see him make a sign with his hand, and suddenly the both of you are surrounded by a glowing blue light.
Okay. We're trying to get to the jail.
He is rushing with you and leading you towards the jail.
Okay.
You guys.
Godgift, what's going on?
If I had any clue, I would tell you.
If you see anything out, can you?
She gets up and she opens the door and she.
What is it?
Godspeed.
What is it, Godgift? Come here. What? I can't reach it. Calm me down.
Make a charisma check, just general charisma.
19. Plus.
Okay, she snaps out of it and she comes over. A worm. Piggott. Piggott the
like
town.
a worm with a Y or worm with an O?
Let us out.
I know.
We can help.
Hold on.
We killed the dragon.
I kicked the door in.
She's on the other side of it.
Well,
Okay.
I want to kick the door in because I'm like, we need.
You hate doors. Make an athletics
I
check.
just opened the stone door behind us.
Too late. 18 plus.
Door
8,
cracks
26.
open and the other door flips open.
She realizes we stayed in there out of manners. We could have gotten out the whole time.
She just kind of.
We'll come back.
So the lucky thing is the door you made is not quite big enough for him. So he goes out the door, you go out the other door.
Don't worry,
no, I'm gonna follow him.
We'll come back.
Okay.
All right,
I just
Fran,
leave that
let's,
door.
let's do this. Come on.
Okay, so you note as you leave, it is difficult to miss, even in the fading evening light. There is a towering worm, the color of twilight. Maybe
Norwin, we're gonna need a really big trout. Can you conjure like a huge hook?
Maybe with prestidigitation, but it'll be fake.
Precipitation?
I can try to drown it.
With precipitation. There you
So-
go.
Maybe we'll get lucky on the rain.
So the creature is, it is hundreds of feet tall, towering out of the ground here. And you can hear the call to arms going through the camp. You can see city guards and soldiers alike within the city arming themselves and preparing for the battle to come. You also see the soothsayer wouldn't have come with you. You see two figures running towards you, one of which is small and gnomish, and the other one you don't recognize. As they get
I'm
closer, you can
screaming,
tell
like-
it is Jasna.
I was gonna say-
Cranmore! Norwin! More of those! Come on! Garrett's in the bag!
Derek's always in the bag.
I don't know if that's a
Do you want to say
euphemism.
my cards?
I don't have anything.
Right, so yeah, we're going to the thing.
Okay.
Shouldn't we take care of this?
We're working.
Morphos is going with you all.
We should get out, make a plan, and come back. We need to get out of this area and prepare.
We need to evacuate the area.
But what do we?
I mean,
Evacuate this. Evacuate.
So,
the
am I
area
just
so that
knocked
it's
out?
Okay,
You're
we need to.
unconscious, yeah.
Oh,
Damn
we
it.
need to evacuate the area.
Someone
but
help me.
I
For
don't know.
God's sake.
You're fine.
Everybody get the fuck out!
Yeah, I don't know what we can do.
I can only last for 20 minutes.
So
You have a bagpipe, she shoved it in your
even
mouth.
with people,
Yeah, but with that,
I'm
I'm
trying to
only
create
20
some order
minutes.
so
That's
people are
what it says.
panicking running. They need to be
That
evacuated.
is not the
really
most
fast.
immediate thing right here.
So an orderly evacuation. is really important right now, so I want to lead that effort right now.
Okay.
We
I'm
can
gonna,
see that soldiers are running in, right?
Yes.
Is this in the
So-
city or is it outside the city?
The worm. The worm is maybe a quarter mile outside the city.
Oh,
In the
forget
camp,
the
isn't
evacuation
it?
for now. Then we need to.
Okay, we need to.
It's
It's not
supposed to be in the
the city.
Danish camp, isn't it?
Hmm?
It's supposed to be in the Danish camp.
It's
isn't it?
outside of the Danish camp, but
Okay.
only by a little bit.
Okay.
Can it reach the city right now?
Not quite.
Okay.
But it could, and so
Yes, if it goes back down inside, you guys might want to take a second thought at that.
yeah, I'm actually thank you. So yeah, I'm going to say we need to evacuate the city. Get folks out of here because this is a concentrated area.
We
that
should
they
get
can
them
go-
down the river.
I do not
Okay.
think that they would listen to us. I don't know if this is our problem, is what I would say, because I know that
It's
they had,
everybody's problem.
they
and
had
listen to
7
every-
council people who should be coordinating a get out of here effort right now. I think we should leave.
And
make
if
a plan,
they
and
are,
then come
that's
back.
cool. And if they're not, we need to help.
No, because we
I
should
think-
not be getting in their way because we'll just like
What
could
should we do instead?
I think we should leave the city. If we come up with a plan on how to kill it, we should come back. But if we don't, we should get out of here.
Am I making death saving
I
throws?
strongly
by the way?
disagree.
You're just unconscious.
This is a
You're
clear
not-
and present threat
you're
to
not
the
dying.
soldiers and
Oh,
to the
okay.
citizens.
Well, what
We
can
can't
we
just
do?
leave.
If you could give us a concrete item that we could do, then we could
Can I?
stay.
So the first thing we'll do then is
No,
find
no,
those
I don't
at
know,
least
minute.
one of the council people and see if they have an evacuation plan or an emergency plan for this sort of thing. Surely they have something. If like an army, if another army comes and attacks their city, they have a plan.
Okay, fine. Follow me. I know where they all live.
Okay.
We're going to Seraph's house.
Okay.
Alright.
As you approach.
Oh, I'm gonna
the-
also be changing clothes.
Seraph, you know Seraph?
So, damn it, this is my fault.
What?
Seraph and Seraph are different.
Oh.
I'm really sorry.
Okay, that would
Wait.
be awesome.
No, they're the same.
I have
Wait, no
Seraph.
shit. No, you're right.
How did you
Seraph.
I have
spell it?
Sarah.
Yeah,
written
no,
down.
you're right.
It's the
Sarah,
same
you're
guy.
right.
They know him.
Same woman.
Oh man, it's such a G. You're not surprised that I know people.
Yeah, you can't tell gender
Also,
well.
I'm gonna pull my wig off because I don't want to.
It is the same person. I
Terza
misled you.
to-
It is Seraph.
Yeah, I don't want Terza to recognize me, so I'm gonna be doing a quick wardrobe change while we're running.
I have serif written down.
It is Seraph.
Okay. Oh, it's Seraph, not
With a
Seraph.
T.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay, sorry. I thought they sounded the same. Okay, so we're gonna be running towards that woman's house.
Woman.
Okay. Let's go.
Do you know where she is?
Yes, I already stalked her. Come on.
I'm not surprised.
I have no follow-up questions. Let's
You
go.
approach the cul-de-sac wherein Jasna has discovered that the council folk live, and you see Seraph outside of her manor already. She's in armor, and she's. No, okay. She is the human parent of the gold dragonborn daughter to yourself.
Okay.
Or elvish, sorry.
No, her kid was definitely dragonborn.
Yes, but I think she was elvish.
Okay.
Because
Sounds right.
Oh damn.
How
her
does that
sister
work?
is full swim. Mixed race dragonborn is dominant.
Oh, okay.
We'll go with that.
Okay, okay.
Councilwoman, we've come to aid in the evacuation efforts. Do you have a plan?
The others are handling the evacuation. I have to lead the guard.
What can we do to help?
Can you fight?
Yeah,
Certainly. I healed you, did I not?
that's different, but yes. We can also inflict damage. Let's go.
Still helps. Let's go.
Where's all your salt?
Am I
Too big a worm, not enough salt.
Mm. Okay, fine.
Is
Let's
the
have it eat us and we can blow it
creature-
up.
How far away can I like
Yes.
if I
We're not.
I'm-
We don't have
I'm
anything
within
that's
300 feet of the
effective
river,
against something
yes.
this big.
Mhm.
That's a problem.
if
I don't
like,
think we're supposed to
bring out
fight
a
it.
I've got
giant
a pocket of nickels and a bucket
like
of
cone
diamonds.
of water, can I like shoot
What
it
do
at
you
this
have?
thing?
Well, what do you? I'm not gonna help you right now. There's
Too
bigger
far.
things that,
Okay.
unless you can save
I
us.
don't think you
there's
can
bigger
give it
things
enough
going
range
on.
Sure, I
to
can.
okay. Because once it leaves the 100-foot range that you're like designating to control it through, it would be taken back over by physics, and I don't think it could get that far with the momentum you can give it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Where do you want a big worm?
I don't think we can inflict any damage on something this
You
big.
can inflict it. It's just.
I
there's
don't
a
want
whole
to
army.
die fighting a worm.
So you're not the only ones fighting this worm.
I do.
And
we're going.
As you all
Okay, I'm not going to be fighting it unless I think I can win. So I will peace out here, and I'm going to the docks.
I have explosives.
That's fair.
That's not gonna
I
help.
do-
It's this big. Like,
Wait, so you're going to the docks?
yeah.
Okay.
Explosives, acid.
So we're going to split a little bit again.
Well, then
So
I'm
the
there.
combat is going to be a little bit different because you have an army that is also fighting here.
Yeah.
So what we're effectively going to do is set the scene a little bit. So panic is rampant as you are within the city. But once you get outside, things are immediately much more organized and much more prepared. There is still shouting and ruckus, but it is all in the vein of like there are commanders who are telling people what to do, and there's the rank and file who are preparing their weapons, getting their armor on, getting into formation, and preparing to march. The worm is still about a quarter mile past the city wall, which is maybe 300 or 400 feet past the edge of the Danish camp. Yes.
Do we have a giant worm?
What?
Huh?
No, sorry, I don't have a mini.
That's one ugly worm.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful worm. It's not very worm-shaped, but it would be beautiful were it a worm. So, you also see various siege engines actually getting set up within the camp as well.
Nice.
However,
Justin's missing.
the worm is bringing its own force to bear, and so you watch as it sort of sticks its head down into the earth, takes up like a mouthful, and just slings it into the camp, and you see several large chunks of rock crash into the front ranks and take out a couple of soldiers and tents before coming to a stop. Dust and dirt skitters across the rest of the landscape that you can see.
How far away is the worm?
Maybe 1,000 feet from you at present.
Okay. Does it appear to have any eyes?
No.
Okay.
So the soldiers are beginning now to bring to bear their force and fire back. So I'm gonna find the stats for a purple worm. We're gonna be.
Is it a special kind of worm? Being purple?
It's a gargantuan.
I'm not gonna fight something I think I could die against.
Purple
Swatch
worm is a
radio.
particular class.
That's
of-
interesting.
Oh, okay, worm. So,
Well,
wherever Jasmine goes, I go.
I'm gonna revive you once we get to the dock. So if it's during battle, you'll wake up in a minute.
No,
There we go.
but like wherever you decide
Oh
to
yeah,
go,
but I
go.
mean, once I wake you up, if you want to run back in, you can.
Okay, so you watch as a couple of stones get thrown at the worm from a couple of trebuchets within the camp, and both of them slam into this worm, and you see it sort of like rear back as the impacts strike it, dealing 31 damage to the worm.
Is it because trebuchets are the most effective siege weapon?
Yes. Now, so the infantry is beginning to move forward and come forth to try and fight the worm closer range. They have longbowmen and they have like a lot of melee fighters. Several of them are actually on make a perception check. Actually, let's see if
I'm not making one.
Jesse or Morthos.
11.
16.
Okay. You were able to tell, yes, thank you. They're actually riding wyverns. There is a small mounted wyvern cavalry within this detachment of the Danish army.
What the heck is that?
A wyvern?
It's like a flying.
It's like a dragon.
Similar to a
Yeah.
dragon, they're cousins of dragons.
Is it like the fell beasts that they rode in on?
Somewhat
Like
similar in
similar.
that they have only 2 legs and 2 wings, not also 2 arms. Wyverns have like scorpion stingers on their tails and heads of cobras.
Okay. That's a fun
We
thing.
fought them on the way.
Yes, you have fought one. I
Really?
don't recall. You might have been absent for that session.
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
Definitely fought one though.
Yeah,
So noted.
and they are sort of doing a decent amount to sort of get up in the purple worm's face and distract it. However, the purple worm retaliates, and you see it kind of just flails, and it just smashes the front like 100 feet of its body into the ground, carving like a 15-foot wide swath of destruction in the front line of the infantry. You all are still charging towards it at this point, I'm guessing?
Yes.
And so this is not one round, this has been like many seconds. So you're getting close now. What range would you like to be in before you start doing things?
So what I
For me, 120 feet.
120?
my plan is to charge, attack, go past. Charge, attack, go past. To
Okay.
try to stay.
So you're actually going up to the worm in physical distance. And,
How long is
Also-
the worm? That's the part that's out of the ground.
About 200 feet.
Okay. So I need to be careful.
So does it clearly have like a face? Like that's a
Yes, it has a
7-year-old
very obvious maw,
So
which is like most of the front of it.
okay.
It doesn't appear to have ears or anything.
No, the rest of the faces.
And just
It looks kind of like this.
and as a reminder, for the purposes of in case there's a my attacks do count as magical in case
Yes.
that makes a difference.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So. All right.
And I'd like to do something that rouses as I'm charging in. I want to be rousing the troops
Yes.
that fight alongside them.
So we're gonna do some fun stuff with this. So that's what you're doing, Norman. What are you trying to do?
So, when I'm within 120 feet, I'm gonna do like
Emily, be back quick if you can.
I'm gonna use guiding bolt. 'Cause
Okay.
That's my max range spell.
Gotcha.
And then also I want to try to use this if I can get close enough.
Yeah. In fact, you might be able to, if Cranmore will let you.
Cranmore,
Sorry, I was checking. What's up?
All good.
any chance I can jump on your back?
Absolutely.
All right. So you're casting guiding bolt every chance you, as many times as you wish.
Yeah.
I think it's not a cantrip, so as
It's
many
not.
spell
It's
slots
a
as you
first
wish to
level
expend.
spell slot, so I can expend a lot.
Okay. So you're casting guiding bolts and sort of even in the sort of darkened light, you're making the target much more obvious, especially to the siege engines. And the soldiers that are charging up are beginning to sort of crowd around its base, but Cranmore, they shift aside, parting like a sea for you as you charge through.
Norwin, is it a cantrip to light me up?
Yes.
Do it.
Okay.
Boom.
Make a. I wish there was like a specific like leadership skill, but
Also, if
I'd say
if I get
skill,
within,
not stat.
Oh.
Like
once we get
performance?
within 60
Yeah, no, for
feet,
performance.
once we get within 60 feet, I cast daylight on it
Okay.
as my
16.
class or my race
Oh,
thing.
so he's gonna pull off a Gandalf.
Something like that.
I just want I want high visibility.
Yep. So they like actually make it with advantage because you are visible and doing something very
Okay,
heroic.
16. That too is not better.
All right. So Cranmore, you rush up and you strike into the side of the purple worm with your great might, even against this gargantuan creature. It does like you can see the impact. You can see like the seared point of flesh where your magical fist has sort of impacted into its thick hide. Norwin, you can see the effect also that your guiding bolt is having. Not just like it doesn't do a ton of damage, but you can see arrows flying truer, boulders striking their target. And the worm is going to take 65 points of damage this round. The worm's retaliation takes out 84 soldiers as it slams again into the ground, and then it will go for a bite, and it will actually snatch 4 soldiers up in its mouth and like rear up into the sky and just crunch through their bodies. Which is slightly demoralizing, but the effects that you have on the soldiery have undone that effect.
Is it balance it out basically?
Also, I guess if any of them are hurt, I guess I do mass healing word.
Okay. So as Cranmore is coming back and passing the second time round, you cast
The
a mass
worm is
healing word nearby.
Getting hit.
So Jasna, as you head back, rushing
and
towards
did
the docks.
I used this too.
Yes, and it does take effect. And not only is it sort of dealing damage to the worm itself, but the soldiers, whom I'm assuming you counted as allies,
Right.
are sort of using it as a rallying point. Until like the worm tries to dive down at it, and then they sort of scatter about. But they're adapting as the situation changes. Jasna,
Yes.
so you rush back to the docks, and you very quickly spot Annabeth, who is atop her bear on the stern castle of her boat. Yes, atop the stern castle of her boat, and it has actually shifted out to river a little bit and has turned 90 degrees. She sees you and like points. You see her like kick her bear to action, and the bear leaps from the stern castle, makes like the 20-foot jump from the ship to the pier, and she rushes up to you and reaches a hand down and says, "Climb aboard."
I grab her hand and
She pulls you up and does the reverse of that maneuver. Her bear again leaping through the air, pounding onto the ship's deck, and leaping back up to the stern castle. And she says, "You're good with mechanics, right?
Yes, what do you need?
Go below decks, make sure the cannons are loaded and efficiently as possible."
Of course, 1 second, and I want to roll him out and... Well, you're
Still
still
unconscious.
unconscious. I roll him out and
Okay,
I'm going
one
to
second.
cast...
Thud.
Yes.
yeah, I'll cast...
Yeah,
try to cast a
whatever.
cure wounds.
I'm role-playing, man.
Sorry, I
Shut
can't
up.
remember what my... what I can... how many is back? Sorry. Okay, sorry. Forever. And it's not even going to be in here, is it? Do you remember how many it is?
Here.
It's all in there.
What are you rolling?
I mean, you could just smack me in the face. I'm okay.
Seeing,
Just unconscious.
I was just seeing like roughly how much damage I could get with like casting this as a level
Yes.
3.
Gotcha.
So if I just smack him in the face, will he wake up?
I got like 3
Yeah.
ones in a row.
Okay, I'm just gonna smack him in the face.
Okay. Whack.
Garrick, wake up! And
Hi.
I sprint away down the deck. And
What's
you're
happening?
Just, wait, somewhere.
What? I run after you. What's happening, Jasna? What's happening? How do we get
Giant
here?
worms trying to defeat the city. Credmore and Norwin are fighting it. I decided my talents were not suited to that.
Are we fleeing?
So as you head below decks, as you're asking this, like as you guys are both going underneath, and you see several crew members sort of look back, and one of them is like just about to light the fuse on a cannon and pauses to look at you.
Boom.
What should I do?
Fix it.
I don't know. What
I
do
want
you
to fix it. I want to look at the cannons and see if I can figure out how to make them more efficient or work.
Make a perception check.
18.
Seems like they're angled a little bit too low. They might hit the city.
Can I?
The cannons are too low. Increase the angle so they don't hit the city.
They begin to sort of push the cannons up and mount them with whatever they can fit underneath. Yes.
Can I use my knowledge of explosives to help her?
It's already done. Sure. I mean, if
You're
you crit, there
concussed.
might be something better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 19. All my rolls crit on 19.
It's not all your rolls.
No, it's
No?
just attack.
No, it's attacks.
Isn't this an attack? Like?
Nope.
No. Well, it's alright.
Okay.
Okay, so they manage to sort of angle the cannons up, and one of them strikes a. You summoned a purple worm. What more do you want?
To be the hero.
Okay. So they angle the cannons upward, and there are multiple ways of being a hero, is what I will say.
You guys have a jail.
So
I kind of
In the worst way possible.
the cannons get angled up, and you hear the of a fuse beginning to burn, and then cover your ears, and you hear the boom of cannons being launched. You all hear up at the battlefield. You hear this like very, very severe thud. Just a moment after, you see these couple of black objects fly through the sky and slam into the worm.
Let's be wary of that so that we don't get in the path of that.
A couple of the wyverns like fly out of the path.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh wait, no, that's a doubles. Dang. Okay. Only one of them manages to impact the worm in the first volley.
That's a good way to lay cover, though.
Mhm.
Keep it from going to the city.
All right. So next round, what are we doing?
I'm gonna see if there are any of those flying things.
You're very
Around
far
me?
away, just so you know.
Yeah, you're like 3/4 of a mile from the battle.
I'm gonna see if I can use my expertise with explosives to do something.
So
While they're thinking of
Get-
things, get a little more solid idea. and
Get a
I'll tell
little
you
bit
what.
more of an explosive shot type of thing. Take like gunpowder and all that stuff and like kind of like coat it together. I want to get like a fireball going.
Make
Just put a
a.
dancing star in there.
Well, so that's basically what I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make a giant dancing star that will be projectiled onto the worm.
Making a normal bomb takes a short rest. Something
Oh.
bigger would be much more difficult. However, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Can I show Jazz on my thing and like help give her an idea of like what I want to do and have her help me?
She doesn't have the Witcher specific expertise.
Okay.
Like, so make an investigation check and I'll see if there's something you can do.
18.
Total?
Yeah.
plus
Plus
Oh, that's right.
investigation.
Yours, I think, is a +0, right?
Investigation's a +1.
Oh, okay. Wait, how's it a +1?
+1.
because he has intelligence. It's under intelligence. He has one
Yeah,
intelligence.
1 intelligence.
For some reason I thought it was 0. Huh, my bad.
No, his wisdom.
No, my
is
my
Yeah, it doesn't-
charisma's 0 and my
Oh, okay.
wisdom's 0.
That's probably what I was thinking of. Okay.
So like investigation for me would probably be
Yeah, that's
How
totally
do
fine.
cannons work?
I just got confused. What do you mean?
Like, I have a butt ton of poison. If I put poison on cannonballs, would it increase the
if it pierced, Well,
So
The
depending on the
explosion.
melting
But
point,
would it
burn it off.
stop the gunpowder
Yeah, it might
from...
burn it off.
That's what I was wondering.
So the idea would actually be to package it like grape shot and package the
Mhm.
poison among like a
Shrapnel.
canvas or a leather bag
Yeah.
that also held the smaller shot. So you could do something like that. They
Yeah,
certainly
I
have
wanna-
bags of grape
I
shot,
want to start working on that because I have that
which is
alchemy jug
also
that just
with your
generates
18 what I'm
whatever.
going to say you can do. Which is the only reason I gave her that was because you would without a check was because you would basically be doing the same thing with a check. So she would see you and imitate. So what you do is you
so
take
I
effectively
do
your
these
dancing
two.
star and you pop it open carefully and you sort of begin to pour the powdered mixture within.
Jazz, now follow me.
And you add a small fuse to it. Actually, with that investigation check, you'll kind of gauge the distance and lengthen the fuse appropriately, and light that fuse just before the cannons go off for the second round. What are you guys doing?
For a round, is it one spell that I'm gonna be able to get off? Or?
Like one larger action. It's not a 6-second round. It's a little bit more.
No, and is it that we can cram down Space Maw?
I was
Cram down
actually.
his face maw.
Is that your new name? Cram down his face.
Do my spirit guardians move with me?
I
I don't remember.
Drop your mace into it,
don't think so. I think they.
and then
can I
have
see
the
the
mace
wording
like
as
just
well?
work
That'll
on the
make me sure.
inside. Spiritual weapons can't be destroyed, can they?
No, they cannot.
Nope, they definitely go with you.
Okay.
So summon a
Well then, I
spiritual
guess
weapon.
I would definitely cast that.
Yeah.
When we get close enough. And then, as far as shoving something down, it's throw it. I have nothing.
Don't shove it down.
I'm
summon
gonna
the weapon inside it.
Bane it though.
Okay.
Might as
That's
well
good.
because like I'm sure that'll help with something. And then use guiding bolt as a third level spell slot.
Okay.
I am going to.
From just for curiosity, what was the damage that you rolled for it?
Something around 20.
Okay.
But like I was just seeing.
Yeah. I mean that gives me an idea though of how to adjust the.
I mean
damage
it's
relative to-
7d6 is what it should be.
Okay, so that's actually 20 is almost the average. It would be 21 and a half. Yeah.
So
So what are you doing?
My strategic objective is to keep the worm in place. I see that there's all this volley of fire going on, so I don't want it to get away. But I'm going to also keep going with the run, attack, move.
Okay, so
And I'm gonna let the other troops know, like, we gotta keep them in this place as much as
Yeah.
possible.
So to best do that, effectively what you begin doing is kind of circling it.
Yeah.
So you're focusing fire from one corner and then another and then another and then another, so that it's too focused on like following the group of you to really think about moving more towards the city.
Yes. So hopefully I can distract it while hitting it a lot hard.
Yes.
Now the other thing is, so I've got like 2 attacks per round, plus my unarmed attacks, so it's essentially 3 attacks per round, plus the charge bonus damage.
Yep.
That's what I'm hoping to be
Yeah.
dishing out per round.
Yes. Okay, so not a great roll for the army, but that's going to be a total of 69 damage.
This thing's big.
And
Yeah, it's gigantic.
it is gargantuan, thank you.
Literally. Sorry.
You're gargantuan.
Ooh,
damn it.
okay. Sorry, guys.
What?
That's 110 soldiers that get wrecked by this thing this turn.
Shit.
But I haven't done y'all's damage yet, so he will take more this turn. But 110 soldiers are crushed as the worm begins to flail, and you actually see a tail end erupt. You're not sure exactly how long it is, even given this, but the tail is about 80 feet from the other end of the worm where it's popped out, and the stinger like thrusts downward towards several of the soldiers and takes some of them out, which is part of that 110.
Is
And
it stinger? What the fuck?
It
The
takes
poison
up
word.
12 soldiers this time and eats them.
I'm guessing purple stands for poison. 'Cause that's what it normally does.
And then the rest of you. Okay, so with the cannons and y'all, the worm takes another 89 points of damage. So Cranmore is just buffeting this. Actually, wait, I didn't add the. It's gonna be another 2d20.
So I got a question.
So it's a total of, wait till I'm done. 89, 24 is 113 points of damage. So it takes another 113 points of damage, and the worm is actually, like, this has been going on for maybe 15, 20 minutes now of constant just wreckage.
Yeah.
And against one foe, that is a hell of a long battle.
Yeah.
And you see this this worm beginning to sort of sway and stagger, but the cannonballs arc across the city, slam into it. One of them bursts into a bright, shining light of fire as Garrick's dancing star cannonball explodes
Is that
against
familiar
it.
to us?
Yeah, you see
familiar
the
enough,
dancing
yeah.
star.
It's bigger than normal, but it definitely like clues you in.
I think Garrick's awake.
Also,
And
Oh darn.
so sorry. So you also see another one of the cannonballs that arcs over and actually like the purple worm looks like it eats it. It looks like it just takes the whole cannonball. But then you see a burst from within and like it vomits. And you see like this green, like sickly acidic bile come up and sort of splatter onto the ground in front of it. It has been badly poisoned as well. So what did you have?
So dancing star, since it the creature has to make a dex save, does that increase over the size of the dancing star being now bigger?
So I'm not even making the dex save a thing for this. It just
You might want to have a note about this thing because it probably goes into your monster compendium or something, right?
Yeah. But that's after it's dead and I study it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have to, in my beast.
5 minutes within 6 hours after the battle. Okay, so third and probably final round. What are our thoughts? What do we want to do?
Same thing.
I'm gonna do the same as well.
More of the same, more of the same.
Yeah, except I have to use second level spell slot instead of third.
Okay.
I'm gonna also see if I can use
Emily?
my great recipe to augment what she did.
Okay.
So I'm gonna show you like and help her with some stuff.
Norwin, are you holding on really well?
Yeah.
This time I'm going to do something a bit different.
Okay.
I'm going after its head.
Okay.
I know it's extra dangerous, but I'm watching a lot of soldiers
I'm in
get
there
hurt.
with you.
Yeah, like I'm going to have to jump. So I mean,
Then I'll jump
so I have
after.
a couple of key points to spend on going a bit faster and making a bigger jump and doing flurry of blows as I'm.
You can spend
good.
effectively an arbitrary number of key points
Okay.
per round.
Well, I've got 6 I could spend, and probably but so it's flurry of blows with Step of the Wind and extra fast.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the proportionality between Cranmore and this thing?
Cranmore is dwarfed.
Yeah.
Do you have?
So if
Like
you have
Wave
the
is
right?
jazz.
so if this were it's way more than, well, it might be in
Well, just the-
multiplicative.
Yeah, just the
Yes.
multiplicative.
So if even that.
Yeah,
So if this is Cranmore, if this is his full height, the purple worm is somewhere like up here at its peak.
And that's length,
But not
width.
right now, right?
That's not even the full
Well,
length.
no,
That's
it's on the
length
ground.
But
above
right
that,
now it's
above
like
ground.
here or something,
Yeah,
right?
No, it's like 150, 200 feet.
Oh,
No, I mean,
plus
like-
its length that keeps going underground.
What about
Holy
width?
shit.
Okay, yeah.
15 feet or so. So it's
I'm
about
launching
this
us as a
long.
So if you
projectile
can-
at its head.
If you can get us up to its head, I think
Yeah.
I'll use Glyph of Warding. Try to get it in its mouth.
Yeah!
The thing that I used to surprise them before.
What is it?
What?
Passing time.
Oh,
in
no.
an hour.
Yep.
Ah, no.
No.
It's a great idea, but unfortunately the glyphs take a long time to prepare.
Okay.
There's something
Shit.
else.
And you have to draw it in its face, don't you?
Magic missile down its mouth would be fun.
Yeah, I don't have that though.
Sleep!
Actually,
Command it to sleep.
I could command it.
um,
Man, maybe I should be a cleric.
Oh, but it doesn't really have intelligence. If it doesn't understand
Yeah.
your language, then
which it doesn't. Its
Yeah.
score is 1.
It seems kind of.
yeah.
Isn't it-
I can't command it.
Actually, Morthos is kind of like right along, like he's not on your back,
I'll pick them up.
but he kind of hears, like in passing, like he's keeping around you guys, and he hears this going on and says, "I'll jump in."
Okay.
I sub out.
All right.
If
Okay.
it's required.
You jump off and I'm making
Yeah.
sure Morthos is like, hold on, dude.
Okay. He's hanging on tight.
Yeah. It's probably the
Come on,
fastest you've
Mort.
ever gone.
Yeah. So you dash forth and you leap towards the purple worm, doing your flurry of blows, just pummeling it. Morthos leaps off of your back and just jumps face first, like right inside this thing's mouth. And as like the purple worm's face is coming back up, it swallows him. And it raises up back to its full height, and that's when everything else is going on. So what's the ship doing? You're doing the grape
I'm
shot.
augmenting her grape shot.
Okay.
And I'm also doing the dancing star.
Okay.
No.
Do I need to
Do you
roll
have
for
something
anything?
different, or do you want to do the same?
No.
No, it's
I don't know. We're what? How far away are we?
you're about 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah,
we're
range
just gonna
is.
go with the same.
Testing the range of these guns, but it's
Yeah.
fantasy land, so we're allowing it.
We're just gonna keep doing that because I don't have anything else that would be at this range. It'll be-
Okay.
What about acid? No, acid
Well,
would
that's
be
what
through
she did the last time. Was
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we
thought
can
she
do
did
it.
poison.
yes,
Yeah.
there is a difference.
Oh, we can do
Yeah,
acid
it's-
or poison either. My jug can make either one of them.
Mhm.
Okay. The reason because I was asking is
Acid
acid
might
would
eat the
eat
metal.
through the metal.
Slowly, probably not quickly enough
Or
for it to matter during
mayonnaise.
the flight, but
Mayonnaise.
Yes, cover it in mayonnaise.
I've just read
Cover
online
the
that
bomb.
if we make it have all the mayonnaise my jug can produce, it'll be 48,000 calories in one.
that's
Bolus.
like almost enough for him to have a meal.
Yeah.
Maybe he'd be full and leave us alone.
Let's stop eating the soldiers.
Is he eating them?
Yes.
He's eating-
Shoot mayonnaise at him.
Just random white stuff just like floats
they
out
have
of the worm.
mayonnaise?
It sounds like you're
Their
gonna.
I
jug
have-
will produce mayonnaise.
At
but
least
you're
treat
gonna-
it.
You're gonna have mayonnaise in this world, I mean?
Apparently,
Okay.
the jug can make
Wait,
it.
how much? Like, how much?
2
2
gallons,
gallons
right?
of mayonnaise.
Only
Wait,
two-
maybe 4 gallons.
4 gallons. It sounds like you're gonna make the ship kind of jizz on this thing.
That's basically what it is.
Yep.
That's what I was like. You're putting jizz on a worm?
They're gonna rename the ship the Splooge Cannon.
Hey man.
Put it
And
inside all the grape shots.
That's a Yukon spook.
Oh.
The what?
That ship's real full of seamen.
I rarely give you a pun, but
Damn,
I give you
there's a lot of saltiness
I mean-
around that ship.
When you do, they're gold. Yeah.
Okay, we are deploying the mayonnaise.
All right.
Are you serious?
Quick, deploy the mayonnaise!
Alright,
Okay.
come on, let's just do the acid thing.
All right. So mayonnaise,
Once
great
mayonnaise.
shot. Cool.
Okay, yeah.
Grape
So-
mayonnaise.
Regular
See a
mayonnaise.
giant white cloud fly.
Spirit
Alright.
guardians are centered on yourself.
Yes, they are. 86 points of damage as the siege engines crash their projectiles into the worm's carapace, and the soldiers all swarm about its bottom, and the wyverns pick away at its maw and at the fleshy parts near its face. The worm crashes down again, a little less oomph this time, and only gets 47 soldiers.
But has he eaten 48,000 calories of mayonnaise?
As he rises back up from its his newest snack.
Are these attack actions?
What do you mean?
Beginning 6th level, you can attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action on the turn.
No, it's all kind of rolled into the fact that we're just like doing multiple actions. These are longer term things we're managing.
But I can double action now, that's nice.
Yeah. So it takes 112 damage as the cannon fire from not just Aedrith's ships, but a few others on the docks now have followed suit. And this volley of cannonballs just arcs over the city and just blasts this purple worm. One of them exploding in fire, and then another one exploding in
Mayonnaise.
Something
some
white.
viscous white fluid.
No, are you seeing this?
Ship just.
What
The seaman!
It's
Jeez!
Wait.
The ship shot the seaman!
The seaman shot
So
some white
everyone,
stuff
including
everywhere.
the worm, is very uncomfortable.
The soldiers are all kind of like,
I don't know if I want to keep punching this.
Do you try some of it, Grandpa?
but then as it takes the load,
Why?
Wow! Now our name's gonna be Jizzin.
So, my kids are in bed.
anyways, this was A plus. As the worm is taking all of this damage, suddenly you see its throat begin to sort of bulge at the sides, and in a flash of light, you see bursting forth from a suddenly gaping wound in its neck. You see Morthos's axe, and it carves the rest of the way around for the final blow as this gargantuan beast's maw just topples
I moved to catch Morthos.
150 feet down from the top of the
You do have spider climb.
purple worm's
I'm not gonna do
head,
it.
and Morthos is also tumbling.
Yeah, I gotta catch that guy before he takes all
So,
damage.
Hurst, I would like you to make a acrobatics
Yeah.
check, and maybe athletics.
I think acrobatics might make sense. 17 plus 6 is 23.
Okay, that is enough. You manage to sort of leap up and cushion the fall, using your monk abilities to sort of slow fall the few feet after you catch him. He'll still take a little bit of damage because of the impact from hitting you, but it's much lessened. It is 11 points of damage, which it would have been. I think it maxes out at 20 d6, so it would have been almost the max damage. So, very good move. The head falls, and most of the soldiers make it out of the way, but about a half dozen of them don't quite move from under it, and it does crush them. But the worm falls backward in an arc, and the soldiers underneath of the body are able to move out of the way entirely. The worm's body smashes down into the earth, and creates a second crater much like the one that it created when it emerged.
Does a bunch of mayonnaise splatter out from the worm onto people?
Yep, some of the mayonnaise like splatters.
Norman, it's just mayo.
Are there?
Oh, thank
are there
God.
Any mayonnaise?
What the hell?
Thank God. It's
just mayonnaise, guys.
Here's my question.
The seamen would shoot themselves at it. Thank God.
Here's my question. With all the mayonnaise splattering everywhere, are there any mayonnaise-related injuries?
So there are a lot of injuries, and actually, the next urgent thing is I'm trying to go through like a triage on the field, and
You
like,
quickly
who knows
exhaust
first
your
aid,
people.
but also first aid skill.
Yep.
So I try to do both. So like Norwin, we gotta find
Yeah,
the medics
I
and
use-
move around.
I
you just
expend
eating like
I
a
expend all the
garlic
rest
thing?
of my spell slots
Okay.
trying to heal people.
So you are
Right.
making some progress,
Oh.
but there are literally like almost over there are over 1,000
But we're trying to find
dead.
the people that are on death's door.
Yes. So there's
first.
over 1,000 dead, and there
Ignore
are several thousand injuries. Getting to the most severe ones first, I'd like. So first of all, what's your key pool at?
60.
Okay, that will allow you to heal to a reasonable amount 6 people.
Well,
To get them
they don't have to
back
be
on the
full. They just need to
Right,
be.
so I'm giving like 10 each. There's
Okay.
soldiers, so they don't have like NPC hit points, but
I have
10 each is like, okay, I'm back, I'm okay, I can like
Good.
do things
They can start
different.
helping triage.
And then I'd like both of you to make medicine checks. And what are your
Okay.
spells that you're using?
I have 3 level 2 spell slots and 3 level 1.
Okay, those will easily.
Jasmine, let's go
those will
and
easily
help.
get the 6 people up.
6 people? I can do
The
more
worm
than
has
6
fallen.
people.
Is one of
Yeah,
is one of
let
the
me
is
make
that
sure I have
skill
something
word
that I can
or
even
something
deal
or
with.
prayer of healing.
Yeah,
That's
I was
right.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could do
Yeah.
18 with
Prayer of
that.
healing could be
Up to
Well,
6
but
each
6
time, right?
each time, so that's 18.
Yeah.
What about
right
mass
with
healing?
just the second level spell slots.
Yep. Yeah, so you're getting like another 20 or so.
I
Can
mean,
you
Because
do
I don't
yeah.
think the level 1s have any area of effect. If they do, let me know.
and what's your? I got a 15 from a medicine
15.
check.
Okay, that effectively means you get 15 people up and going like quickly enough that
Right.
while things are still set.
I'm sure that there are medic type people that are
Yes.
following suit. And,
Yep. It's gonna take a village,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Oh, I also have Spare the Dying as a cantrip.
Okay. Anyone who is effectively dying, you can easily.
Oh, and I got a crit on medicine check.
Nice.
Nice.
Plus 8.
Okay, so 28. Actually, because it's a crit, I'll make it better. 38 people. You were able to triage and get them back up and running. So to make things move a little faster, as we are. So it is 9 o'clock. We're willing to go a little bit later. How late are you guys okay going?
We are at a good stopping spot though.
Yeah,
Yes, but
after
there's
this.
not a ton more that I need to get through.
I'd say like 9:30
And then
maybe.
we're
Yeah,
stopping.
9:30
Okay.
would be a stopping
Prepare some
point for me.
materials for tomorrow.
Cool. All right. So throughout the night, are you all planning on taking a long rest?
I'm planning on going back to the jail.
Okay.
I guess I would just follow Cranmore because
I'll follow Jasna.
Morthos is like.
Whatever Jasna decides, she's actually made
Go.
us through a couple of
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
I
I guess I would go to try to find good
God gift?
God
God
gift.
food.
That's
Well,
the
actually,
one.
you know what we should do is talk to the soldier. They're the ones that arrested us.
Gabagool.
And say like, guys, so we need to go back to the jail, right?
I suppose so.
All right.
Although
Trials tomorrow.
can't imagine anyone will be there. We're all gonna be busy cleaning this up.
Do you want
They
to
might
help?
have some
Should
mayo
we help them
sandwiches.
instead? We can help clean instead and just.
Why don't you
I
get
mean,
some?
we're surrounded by soldiers. You can take us to the trial tomorrow, I guess.
So get some rest tonight. It'll be. I know your intentions are good, and you've certainly done a lot to help. But we have this. We have a system. You can get a lot done if we're left with our devices. So come by if after your trial tomorrow, which again, none of us are going to be there. So
All right.
And,
We'll go into the town now.
Can one of you? Well, I would hope they would want someone to bear character.
No,
You're not there.
Norwin, you told her to find
Am
a
I
ship,
there?
right?
No, you're on the ship.
Norwin.
Oh, I'm still
You
with
told
them.
Jasna mind melding to find a ship.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the dock and they'll probably be looking at that as a. And she said she was heading that way anyway.
She
so
did,
we
yeah.
should try to find them back there. That makes sense.
okay. Yeah, you find Cranmore and Morthos and Norwin relatively quickly.
We've booked passage with a ship over here.
Is that a bear?
Edith waves.
Awesome.
The bear waves.
Kind
Sorry,
of
I-
happy.
Sorry, I just like that.
That's
The bear
has a little time.
totally waves. Like that was not.
This is my favorite
That's
part
not
about it.
sarcasm.
kind of distracted. What were you saying?
We're set to set sail tomorrow after your trial.
I really like your optimism. That's good energy.
Perhaps we should just go now.
Well, I mean,
Now and never come back.
while I always
also
advocate
there.
breaking the law when it benefits me, if you were to have the trial and they found you not guilty, which they should, because I think we killed off a good section of the Janus soldiers here, it would probably help our street
No, we
cred.
didn't do that.
Oh, Garrett
How many of
summoned
the
this
Danish
worm.
soldiers are still left?
Who's this guy?
Oh!
Garrett, get down here! Is he
I'm
with me?
sorry. What?
Yep.
Yeah, apparently he summoned it with the Dark Lord. Yeah, what is up with that anyway, Garrett?
I've got my sunglasses on.
Can anybody else?
I said no goes down its throat. Explain yourself.
Who's
Can anybody
Garrett?
else hear this?
I
Make a
was
perception
gonna
check.
say, like, Jazza, you should probably not say that in front of everyone.
I look at the bear. Did you know this?
20.
I was not trying to talk super loud. Should I make it?
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
mean,
say.
I got a
You
20
in general
perception.
need to like bring the volume down a bit because you like always
But
shout.
also,
Okay,
also
so I don't know. I rolled a 15 for whatever you're making me checks
Well-
and not.
Okay.
before I
And I
forget,
got a 20 perception.
Okay.
Matt,
There are a few folks around trying to overhear, but she is speaking quite quietly.
Okay.
so Matt, just before I forget,
Mhm.
the bear and stuff like that is the reason why I like your campaign. It's hilarious.
It's really good.
I try.
It's like you win. The bear
Oh, that
wins.
giant worm was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we need rest.
Who's
We have
Eric?
an appointment tomorrow,
I
and,
know.
and then we can go from there. Thank you very much for booking us passage. We owe you big time for that. And yeah, if there's
So
nothing else to do, should we just rest for now and get
Shall
this
we
sorted
meet
out?
you-
We're
yeah.
too tired to.
And we should meet back here tomorrow after your trial.
Are you going to tell them about us?
Maybe you get arrested too.
I
on the
don't
spot
want to
or
get
something.
arrested. Is
Yeah,
sort of the
don't
thing.
go.
You can turn
I do
invisible.
not.
They see-
Oh yes, actually
You see-
I will be there. I can turn invisible. Garrick, you should stay here and hold down the fort though.
I will do that. And I crumple again into my
Have we seen her in her disguise?
You're
I
seeing
took
it
my
now.
disguise
Oh.
off when I was
Okay,
with you
that's what I
earlier
thought.
because I was
Can
trying to make
I-
Tirsa not recognize me.
Oh,
Can
that's
I,
actually true. You
uh,
did, and then you saw her.
I'd also like to get a wig.
Okay.
Your
It's the
call.
middle of the night, and the whole town is like in.
Well, yeah, after that, the
Okay.
next morning.
It's still going to be very much in like reparations. You're not going to have time until.
Bless you.
Oh!
Bless you.
Bless you, my child.
Can I have your wig, Jasmine?
Thank you.
No, it's mine.
My god.
Like
It's
the
very nice.
I can't believe you summoned a worm.
We're gonna talk about that tomorrow. if my head is still on my shoulders.
Stop saying that. I broke you guys all out of prison.
I broke us out of prison.
Why didn't you do that in the first place, Grandma?
Because we were
Yeah,
getting attacked by a
I
giant.
had
bird.
I had a door to the outside.
Well, the Danish army was going to brand you traitors, regardless.
They already had.
Exactly.
So maybe you're, like I said, tomorrow
They
we'll
would
get
cart
started.
you-
Maybe you're coming from maybe your heart's in the right place, and we'll go on trial first. How about that? Okay, and then we'll get this thing sorted out.
Will you tell them about Jasna and myself?
No, we're on trial.
That seems counterproductive.
Because
Borrow
if-
trouble.
That isn't kind of mean.
If they decide and they deem you guilty, regardless, we will come and save you.
We'll figure that out.
You'll murder them all.
I'm
Just-
worried no more
You'll
giant
murder them
worms.
all.
Okay.
What if the king just gets a giant worm in his butt or something? Is that fine?
No. that thing was killing indiscriminately everybody.
Most of them were soldiers. Well, all of them were.
The soldiers-
Were there any civilians?
Not civilians, but there were city guard among them.
And in a situation like this, the concern is with the leadership. These are just soldiers, and we've even had those experiences already where if you just talk to them, it's
That Kristoff guy though, What an asshole.
Okay,
Did he
so-
die?
Just
Is he dead?
Just,
Oh, okay.
Is
just a
he
little
dead?
question.
No.
Would anyone? No one would
Damn
notice the. Would anyone notice the thing we defaced by trial tomorrow, or
I
are
think
they all gonna be?
I was gonna say.
They'll probably just think that it was.
Some might have noticed.
Oh,
They'll
also,
but they'll probably just think that it was the
Morthos.
worm.
Morthos. And I kind of,
Maybe, yeah, because the beheading would maybe, yeah, sure.
I don't know.
It's possible.
We did draw like the dick on it.
Yeah,
so-
that's.
Yeah, you're trying to
the-
dig on it.
to-
No. You should have drawn the dick
Oh,
and
no.
then regards Danish guards.
It is-
No, what I was going to say is, Morthos, we, just so you know, we defaced some city property and tried to make it look like the guards.
Ah,
So
nice.
if you can bring it into the conversation of the trial at all tomorrow, try to talk about how the Danes disrespected
Arhol?
Fortel and
Fortel.
Alatin, and maybe fabricate some details. if we
I
need
think
to.
our defense is going to be pretty self-evident based on our character and performance this evening.
Well, you
When we
don't
say
know that.
you're basically putting us on trial for doing something, I mean, this is what we do, and that's what you're putting us on trial for. That's a.
Well, so
Yeah, but
I
mean,
like
if
to
you're-
face the accusation.
What-
If
against
you're
the
up there
evidence.
anyway, you might as well cause as much unrest as possible.
Well, so Granmore, while you're
I'm
reasoning,
sure Morthos is
Although-
going to do that.
Although I generally disagree, in this case I would agree because it will help us when we eventually face Darren.
That's true.
Daryl.
It's just it'd be ideal even if the Danish soldiery themselves were questioning, had their suited down from within. It's not the citizens versus the soldiery. It's versus the leadership.
Yes.
All right, I'm
Fred
fit
Moore.
to rest. I'm exhausted.
Are you going back to the jail, or shall I ask?
Apparently, we're not asked to go back as long as we show up for court.
Oh,
I don't think I'm going to be able to hide anywhere anyway. But
Cranmore.
they don't believe we're a flight risk right now.
Or they just don't care.
Or they don't care.
Cranmore, I'll say this, and I will only say this once. Yes, your reasoning is sound, but the way that they apprehended us and the way that they tried to try us without any reason and without any rhyme was
Their reasons.
very politically motivated.
Internally, they think they've got reason and rhyme.
Yes.
And they were going to give us a trial, not just execute us on the spot. That's something to take
I
into
think
account.
it's going to be a what's a donkey
And there's-
court or whatever.
kangaroo court.
Kangaroo court. There you go. I think it's going to be a.
You're a kangaroo court.
Oh no,
We'll
but
see.
no, I will say, Garrick, I know from some of my adventures prior to meeting up with you that the city council is going to be the ones that decide, and since the soldiers aren't present, as they said they wouldn't be, we should be depending on the Danish council to.
But at the same time,
The
Chromatic.
The chromatic.
the chromatic council may be the city's decision makers, but we are charged by treason to the king.
I don't want to upend their
Trust
their
in us.
local civilization, their trust in us. They have an ecosystem here, and
I think we've done very well to bolster some support in the city. I think that the odds are in our favor at this point.
Yeah, we actually
So is
we were
Kiara-
able to convince a few people to our point of view.
yeah, the fact that we're not in jail right now.
So some of the townsfolk are already kind of sympathetic to us.
Yeah.
I think you should sit the trial, definitely.
I
I mean, I tend to hate things like this, and I'm willing. I think
Okay,
it'll
Porthos,
do
I
a good amount to
shall-
show us in a good light to the people, and that might even win more people to our cause.
I agree.
That is wise.
I shall defer to your knowledge, my friend Morthos. You have seen this firsthand, and you do not you harbor resentment to guards as well.
I do. We'll
I'll
see you
be
tomorrow then.
Of course he does.
I'll be there invisible, and if things start to go wrong, I'll take you
Intervene.
guys out.
Okay. All right, and we will end as you all are taking your long rest, and Norwin has a dream.
Oh yay!
Are we privy to this dream?
You are not.
Okay.
Are we going to hear this dream?
Yeah, I'm not going to make you guys go out for it. It's relatively straightforward and simple. But it is the face of a golden dragon. And it booms with a voice that you recognize. It is Enla'un. And she says simply, that was good. Continue on this path. You will find your way. And the dream fades. That's a check you make. You got advantage on it for a week.
Okay.
Well, damn, son. And so Matt, when you're painting this, can I ask you to do something?
Oh, you do want it painted?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure because you were talking
So
about it.
yeah, so I was thinking.
Oh wait, let me actually stop the stream before we do this. All right, so thank you everybody for watching. We will unfortunately be taking, well, unfortunately for people who are very invested in the story, but I'm kind of looking forward to a little break where I can plan a lot. But we're going to be taking a hiatus in the month of July, and we will resume streaming the first week of August. But until then, you might see some scattered streams here and there of me doing either like game design or playing something else or doing some random stuff like that. It will likely have to do with BionDnD, but we will not be streaming sessions as normal. So thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you in August. And I really need a button that I can hit from my chair that ends the stream.